Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid watch-along. Football starts today really, doesn't it? We've got the Community Shield, which I'm covering on That's Football later on. We've got the return of the Championship. We've also got Manchester United's doubleheader this weekend. Obviously, it's the return of Ronaldo tomorrow, but today it's two debutants. It's Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez. Will they start? I'm interested and excited to see where Eriksen features. I'm hoping he's not going to come on and replace Bruno. That, to me, would not be that logical as to why we bought this player. I think hopefully he's going to dislodge McTominay and play with Fred, but we'll see if that happens or not. We are sponsored by Wash and Go on this pre-season friendlies game, so make sure you check out Wash and Go, 2-in-1. Man United starting the season with a wash and a bit of fresh to go again, hopefully. You can get yours delivered to your door. I use it every day, 2-in-1 conditioner, links in the chat. We'll talk more about Wash and Go in a moment, but we're awaiting the team news to come out. I think there's a bit of a rumour that Jadon Sancho may not be available, which would obviously feed into a lot of your concerns that if you lose a Sancho, a Rashford or a Martial, there is literally nothing. There is no back, and especially Sancho. There is nothing on that right-hand side. I mean, we might see Eriksen play on the right or Bruno move to the right, but that's not where we bought Eriksen to play. That's not where we bought Bruno to play. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Maybe Sancho will start, maybe he won't. But team news is about to come in. It's out now. And McTominay, Donny goes straight back to the bench, of course. McTominay comes in and plays with Fred. Lindelof plays. So no starts for Eriksen, Donny or Lisandro Martinez. So that's interesting. Let's see. Just put that tweet out. So yeah, the McFred midfield survives. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in the chat getting very frustrated about that. You could see it coming a mile off. My frustration is with this transfer window. We are going to start against Brighton and probably Brentford and maybe even Liverpool with McTominay and Fred. And I'm sorry, I said it at the start of last season. I'll say it again. I'll love to get proved wrong, but if we are going to pick them as our midfield, we won't make top four. It's as simple as that. Hopefully we will get De Jong in. I still believe that we will. But the fact that we're still going into football matches with those two as a midfield too, I don't see it. I just don't see it working at all. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Donny's not starting. I thought Donny played well. I thought McTominay was utter shit in the game before against Palace. I thought Donny played quite well against Villa, especially in the first half. And I'm surprised he's been dropped for McTominay again. But this guy, I don't know how he does it. He must be brilliant in training. Let's be fair. Let's be positive. He must be bloody brilliant in training because he's shit in a United shirt and he still starts every bloody game. Is it because he's over 6 foot and it's a bit of height? I do think that there is a theory on that. I genuinely think, all jokes aside, the fact that he's over 6'2" has made his career. And I don't think people want to admit that, whether they're people who like McTominay or whether they're people who love McTominay. Telling you now, if he was 5'8", I don't think he'd even be at United. I do think his height is seen as a major issue, a positive issue for every manager that we've had, because his aerial stats are very, very good compared to most midfielders in the Premier League. His aerial stats are very, very good. So if you've got a midfielder who's got good aerial stats, I mean, we don't like it. I didn't like it with Fellaini, but there is a very, very... Look, I'm not saying McTominay's Fellaini. I didn't like Fellaini, but he was way better than McTominay. I've got to be fair. But Fellaini defied belief for years and years, and McTominay's done it. And I do genuinely have a theory that the reason he keeps getting picked is because he's tall. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it is an attribute. As much as pace is, as much as passing is, aerial ability is an attribute. And certainly we've got an £80 million centre-back who gets picked because of it. We've now got a centre midfielder who's getting picked because of it as well. I must admit, the picture Man United have put out of the player is just abysmal. But, I wouldn't put Harry Maguire in a screenshot ever. I think there's plenty of other players you could have used. But the team is De Gea, Delot, Maguire, Lindelof, Malacia, McTominay and Fred, Bruno, Elanga, Rashford, Martial. So no place for Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho has a bit of a knock. And I think that's the headline for me. I do want to delve into this one very, very quickly. Welcome to the Members Club, Nicholas. I do want to delve into this in the chat. I don't know anyone in the flesh that don't rate him, says Robert McCormack. I don't know who you're talking about. And Robert's probably talking about McTominay. Mate, we'll have a beer, as we've promised to have many a time. You'll meet me in the flesh, and then you'll meet somebody who will tell you why I don't rate McTominay. And the reason I don't rate McTominay is because he consistently plays shit, mate. That's basically it. He can't pass, he hides, and I just think he's ridiculously average. If you want to tell me something opposite that, maybe you've got, he's good in the air, I'll give him that, but he ain't a top 6 player. I think he's one of the worst midfielders I've seen play for Man United. I think Fellaini's on a different level to him, and I couldn't stand Fellaini. So that's my honest opinion. Being good in the air is a stat I value from an EasyJet pilot. It's not my number one in a central midfielder, says Nick P. Well, Xavi and Iniesta are the counterfoil to that. Just been watching videos on the kickoff with you on it, and boy, I miss you on the kickoff. You had brilliant debates. Yeah, not allowed on it anymore, Nathan, unfortunately. But look, let me talk about Sancho. I think this is more important. I expected McTominay and Fred to start today. I expected Lindelof and Maguire to start today. I'm sure we'll see Lisandro Martinez play a bit. I would hope that means he flies back and starts tomorrow. I mean, I don't see the point in taking Lisandro Martinez and Eriksen to this game and not starting them. If they're going to play for like half an hour at the end, they'd have been better off staying in Manchester and starting tomorrow. So I'm a little bit confused by that. Hopefully we'll see them for longer than half an hour. But you know what I mean? You fly Lisandro Martinez and Eriksen with the first team, but then you don't start them. Surely it would have been better off leaving them in Manchester. Bit of a training session this morning, start tomorrow, full 90 minutes. So hopefully we will see them play a little bit. McFred starts season. Hag is done out here. Joke, says Rudy. Hey, let's not have any anti-Ten Hag stuff. I mean, I'm not including Ten Hag in this. He's got a freebie from me at the moment. But the big thing I wanted to talk about was Jadon Sancho. We'll have a clip from Adam who's at the ground in a little bit. But I want to talk about Jadon Sancho. I think this is the biggest headline, and people will talk about McFred and Donny not starting and Eriksen not starting and Lisandro not starting and all that, and Sancho. But Sancho not starting for me is the biggest story, even though it's the most logical explanation. Jadon Sancho is not starting because he's got a knock. Don't start him, 100%. Brighton in a week's time, don't risk it. I'm sure he'll be fine for the Brighton game. But is this not there's two big red flags here that I think fans need to keep in their mind. I think we'll win this game today, and that positivity will probably mask reality. There are two massive holes in the dinghy, and the great white sharks are circling. We are going to sink this season with these two holes. And it's got nothing to do with defence. I prefer Varane over Maguire, but to be honest, I think we're well stacked at defence. If Maguire plays shit, Varane will come in. So we're okay. The big problem that we have is Sancho doesn't play today. Who's playing on the right? Alanga. What if Alanga's crap or gets injured? Who's playing on the right? I don't know. Why is Alanga playing on the right? Is Alanga the finished article? Is he a good replacement for Rashford or Sancho? No. We are so weak up front. We are literally a knock away from this. Sancho's got a knock and we can't risk him, so Alanga's playing on the right-hand side. Who's on the bench? Who's the replacement for Alanga? Is Alanga ready? No. This is what I mean about preparation for the start of the season. We hope we're going to get away with it because we hope we're not going to have any injuries against Brighton and Brentford. But if we get one knock to Rashford or Sancho, and I know Sancho's got a knock now, but I think he will be back next week, one knock to Rashford or Sancho, and we're in trouble. Like, we're literally playing Alanga on the wing. So we are really weak up front. And I keep saying it, and people last week were saying, well, we shouldn't bother with Anthony. Let's wait a year. And I'm like, it's not about not waiting for Anthony. It's about we haven't got the depth in the front three. We just haven't got it. Martial's quite injury prone. Sancho does pick up quite a few knocks. Remember, he was out at the end of last season. Rashford has had injury problems. Hopefully he's over those. But we've got three good players, I would say good players, in Rashford, Martial and Sancho, who all are capable of Friday having a knock and not playing on the weekend. So we are ridiculously weak up front. Of course, we're weak in the midfield, and we can see that again today. Hi, I'll be attending the game at Old Trafford tomorrow, says Swift. And I will be cheering Ronaldo. I love your content. Thank you for keeping us smiling, says Swift. Thank you. Well, very excited to watch this game. Nicholas, welcome to the Members Club. I'm in my 30s, and I can honestly say McTominay is worse than Cleverley and Gibson. Only people with McSurnames rate him, says Toe. I hope McTominay, Robert McCormack's in the mud. Suma says, I hope McTominay just starting because of the team we are playing. It's Suma. Well, I disagree. I think Donny did enough to start, really. I really do. Simon Johnson, welcome to Members Club. Would love to have a pint and an all-round chat about football one day. Love the content. Big up the Reds, hoping for a win, says Wesley. I'm sure we will win today. I'll tell you why in a minute. Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Well, you have seen the style of football slowly improving in your team. At Palace, the passing was there and chances were there. Ronaldo scores them, says Nathan Allen. Just very, very, very quickly as well, we've got 15,000 watching already. So I do just want to say this. Please subscribe to the channel. We're only 100 subscribers away from 1.4 million. So a big landmark for the community and the channel. We're only 100 away from 1.4 million. So that number in the top right-hand corner will change very, very quickly. If you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, make sure you do that. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved. Remember, we're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Watch-alongs, match reactions, player ratings, stats, the lot. It's all here for you on the United Stand, the biggest fan community in the world and the most watched fan channel in the world. And I mean, not just United, everybody. You are the community. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Yes, so look, the team is out. It's De Gea, Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof, and Malacia at left back. That's quite a positive. Do you think Malacia's got that spot now? Fred, McTominay, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Alanga, no Sancho. He's not involved today. He won't be involved tomorrow. He's got a knock, and we'll have to just hope and see that he's back for the Brighton game, which I think he will. I don't think we need to scaremonger about that. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the team? I want to get your opinions in the chat. Dylan says, how do you know that Man United Stand is the most watched? Because you can count the views, mate. It's very easy. Ashan, welcome to United Stand Members Club. We get way more views than anybody else. Like, I'm not being a boaster. You know, you're the people who watch the show. You know, pat yourself on the back. We get way more views than everybody else. How not sure Ronaldo should have called himself the king, makes him look silly, says Yal. Oh, you know what? Just very quickly on that. Well, thank you for being a member for 4 months, Majestic. Ronaldo being the king. I mean, Dennis Law is the original king. Cantona was a king. Is it not okay to have, you know, when the queen dies or when the king dies, you get a new king or you get a new queen? Why can Ronaldo not be a king? Like, are we going to just forever pretend that Cantona's the king and that's it? It's 2022. What about in 20 years' time when there's a young player playing for United and we want to call him the king? Like, I don't have a problem with Ronaldo being the king. I think people just get a bit silly about things at times. So we can never have another player called the king. I think you've got to earn it. I think Ronaldo's in. I mean, I don't know whether I'm comfortable calling Ronaldo the king, to be honest. It doesn't feel quite right. But you can't just not call people the king. It can't just be King Dennis Law and King Eric Cantona. There has to be different eras where you have a king. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It's just whether you think Ronaldo should get that crown or not. Darren, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Predict Sancho's season, says Nicholas. Look, I think Sancho's going to have a good season in a team like this, but fitness is really key. I don't think enough pundits, journalists, and United fans are actually taking into account fitness. Because why would you? Everybody's fit. But if you know anything about football or you want to think about anything about football, we all know that injuries do happen. And unfortunately, they will happen. Jadon Sancho could be out for 3 months. Not now. He's not going to be out for 3 months now. But, Jadon Sancho could pull his hamstring and be out for 3 months. He could twist his ankle and need an operation. Hopefully, that's not going to happen to Jadon Sancho. But you can guarantee it's going to happen to somebody, whether it's Harry Maguire, Fred, Martial, Malacia, Eriksen. We will get players who get injuries. And that's what concerns me. I think when we can put the squad at the moment, if you can play it for 60 games, is okay. But as soon as there's a couple of injuries, we are threadbare. For all the Ronaldo haters, says Salim, remember the guy lost his newborn, came back a week later to score against Arsenal and Chelsea, doing his part, securing fourth. Yes, Salam. Yeah. Nick, thank you very much for being a member for 2 months. Watching my first ever game at Old Trafford against Brighton next week. Really hoping to see Ronaldo. Here's to a great content, Mark, says Tom. Well, there's no guarantees with Ronaldo. I mean, he will be there tomorrow. Whether he'll be there against Brighton, you just don't know. Football transfer windows are fast paced, and maybe he will go, maybe he will stay. I hope he stays. Mark, you don't have to defend everything Ronaldo does, and you don't have to be right every time, says Ola. I don't know what your point is, because ultimately we're all defined by the decision and choices that we make. So, of course, I have to defend Ronaldo because I want to. It's my stance. That's where I am. It's who I am. Take it or leave it. If you want to slag Ronaldo off, do it. If that's where you're at, do it. But don't tell me what to think, because ultimately I'll do and say what I want to do, and so should you. That surely is what opinion's about. Who do you think will be better for us this season, Malacia or Shaw? I'm really excited by this, Hein, actually. I think that you look at that team, and it's funny because we spoke about what Ten Hag's best 11 is, didn't we, on Friday on the show where I did the preview. And I think I've picked it. I think I picked the team for Brighton. Apart from Sancho, I did put Malacia ahead of Shaw. I'm a massive fan of Luke Shaw. Massive fan of Luke Shaw. I get a lot of stick for being a fan of Luke Shaw, but I'm not agenda driven and I'm not biased. And I put Malacia in ahead of Shaw. And the reason I said it was this: what's the point in buying a fullback who's there to compete with your current fullback and then starting your current fullback? It just sends the wrong message. I think Shaw can take that left-back spot back, but I agree with Malacia starting, because if you buy a left-back who's meant to challenge your current left-back, start the new left-back, give him the opportunity, make the current left-back work, and then that's the way to start. So I applaud Ten Hag for this. I think it's the right thing to do. I don't know whether Malacia is better than Shaw. I think we're well stacked at left-back. I think they both look really good. But I would start Malacia, because if you start Shaw, you set the trend. Luke Shaw's still my number one. Malacia is the understudy. And maybe the mindset of Malacia becomes a little bit defeated. I'm the understudy. I'm playing in the Europa League. Maybe Luke Shaw is like, well, I'm still number one. Maybe a complacency leaks in. Start the understudy, Malacia. Disrupt the mentality of the holder of the shirt. And I think you get more from it. And I think it's very clever from Ten Hag. So look, personally, I probably do sway to more towards Luke Shaw, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered at all that Malacia is starting. Look, I have strong opinions on certain things. Like, I don't agree with McTominay starting games for Man United. I just don't. I hope one day that I'll change that opinion, but I just don't agree with it. But I've got no problem with the left-back situation. Delo should start over Wan-Bissaka. I'm strong on that one. But the Malacia Shaw thing, I'm quite happy with how that's going. When is Sancho versus Anthony video coming up? Says Ashir. Yeah, that's coming up soon. I've been on holiday, mate. So as soon as, busy day today, because I've got this match reaction, Community Shield at 5, then the 8 o'clock show. But hopefully tomorrow I'll get a bit of time to film and put that up. Barca are the biggest spender in Europe, and there are 6 English clubs who have spent more than 100 million. Arsenal, Man City, Spurs, Leeds, West Ham, Chelsea. Shows where United's priority is, says Anthony. Hey, mate, Anthony, you know what? Call it what it is. Our transfer window is a shambles. It's a shambles. Like, we've got it on the screen there. It is a shambles. So we've spent, what? 65 million, but we sold Pereira, so we've actually spent about 55. ABC, Mark, in your own words, can you explain the madness in Lindelof, Fred, McTominay continually getting picked? How has no one challenged their positions, says ABC? Well, look, we've got a new manager that I really respect picking those players. What can I say? They must do something. Don't forget, we live in a nanny state. The cancel mob will be after you, says Amiasi. Drakir, thank you very much for joining the members club. Zane, it's really funny. I put a tweet out, and you get some people going, "Oh, this ain't it. This ain't it." And I feel like I don't reply because I just think let them bubble. But I think, well, it is it. Don't tell me my tweet ain't it. It is it because I tweeted it, so it's mine. This is it. If you don't like it, unfollow me and jog on. But don't start telling people that their opinion just because it's something you don't like ain't it. Well, it is it because I've tweeted it. So. Or what I've just said about Ronaldo, that is it, because I've said it. You might not agree with me. That's absolutely fine. But that's my opinion. Don't tell me that ain't it, because it is. I've just bloody told you. I love Ronaldo. I love it. Booing legend Ronaldo played a few days after his kid died, but not booing Rashford and others who walked around in the Manchester derby. All about PR, says Majek. Strong message there from Majek. I think you're right. I think you do have to you do have to take into account, I think Ronaldo has been highlighting it quite well, there is a media bias in this country, whether you like it or not. We've seen it time and time again. I'm one of those people who is English, born and bred, proud to be English, British, whatever you want to call me. But I see Pardon? I'm not Italian. All right, okay. I thought you'd tell me my bloody nationality. I'd forgotten it there. No, I am English. And but I do see a real bias in the media, not just around media around Man United in general. We're very, very biased in this country. And I do see a different treatment of British players compared to foreign players. And I've seen it for years. Years and years and years ago, we used to call foreign players divers. They were cheats, and they were what's diving? It's cheats. So much so that when Jurgen Klinsmann came to the Premier League, he used to mock it by diving on his celebration, which is very biased. Some other countries are very biased. It's not unique, but you're right. What Majek says there, the treatment of some players compared to other players. I mean, anyone with a brain can see what's going on. I said this last night. Ronaldo's not the only player to say he wants to leave the club. Wayne Rooney did it, got quite a big reaction because Sir Alex Ferguson threw him under the bus, to be fair. But Roy Keane did it. If anybody can be asked to go and do the research, Roy Keane said he was leaving at the start of either the 2000 or the 2001 season. He said he was leaving. His contract was up in the summer and he was leaving. And we were all gutted. And it was like, how do you survive that, Roy Keane? And he was meant to be going to Juventus. 4 months later, he signed a new contract and stayed. And everyone was like, yes, he's staying. He's staying. There was no booing him, or no one's bigger than the club at that point. That wasn't being discussed. It was just pure frustration that he wanted to leave. Who do you think will be better for us this season, Malacia or Shaw? I'm looking forward to it, Hein. I'm looking forward to it. Look what happened when Telles came to challenge Shaw. He was brilliant that season. Malacia could make Shaw start playing more consistently. Look, and they both can't play 60 games, and this is what I'm talking about. At left back, we're quite well stacked. At centre back, we're quite well stacked. But up front and in the midfield, we're not. So I don't think there's a debate between Shaw and Malacia. Let the fight commence for the place. Best of luck. Share the role. The best man wins. Whatever. I don't care. We've got two good left backs there. It's the midfield and the attack where we're really short. So Breezy's right. Watching your channel since LVG, you've created a huge community, even spin-off channels from former members. United stands still the best, but like it or not, you have created a larger community, says Nicholas. Thank you very much. Gaza, welcome to Members Club. Do you think Martinez and Eriksen will start against Brighton, having not started today? Barker, I don't think they're going to start. And look, this is probably going to get me into a bit of trouble, but so what? You've got to say what you think. I do think that this team today starts against Brighton. Apart from Sancho, I think he's set his stall out. This is the team that he's coached the longest. And this was one of my biggest concerns when the season started, when we didn't have new signings in. I mean, look, De Jong's not even here yet. Anthony's not here yet. They may never be here, but they're never going to walk into the team at the moment because they're not here. But how long we took to get Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez is now going to impact the start of the season. I don't think they'll start against Brighton. I think he'll start with the two players at centre-back that have played the most games for him, Lindelof and Maguire. I think he'll start with the midfield three that have played the most games for him, McTominay, Fred and Bruno. McTominay was injured for the Villa game. He's dropped Donny to bring him back. There is a core loyalty to these players under Ten Hag, and I think it's because he's been training with them the longest, so he trusts them more. Maybe Lisandro Martinez comes into the team because he costs so much money, but at the moment, I feel that against Brighton, this is probably the team, bar Sancho. I might be completely wrong there, but I think he's showing consistency in his team selection because these are the players that he's trained with the system the most, and the system's the most important thing for Ten Hag. Mohammed says, hi, Mark. Judging by the transfer window, we were aiming for 5th or 4th, to be frank. I think we will be 6th again. We have no midfield, no depth. Very worried for next season. It'll be very difficult to win anything, says Mohammed. Well, do you agree with Mohammed there, everybody in the chat? I mean, we can run a poll again, but most people think we're going to get 4th. I agree with Mohammed, but imagine if Mohammed's right. Imagine if we're fighting for 6th and 5th because we just don't have the depth in the midfield and the attack. Whose fault is that? Is that the manager's fault or is that the board's fault? So, let me know what your thoughts are there. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We're getting really close to 1.4 million. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with the United stand. We're really, really close. We're only about 20 away. Mate, I'm just going to send you a message. I just heard something. That's all right. No, it's good. 1 minute, everyone. Oh, God. Why is it when you want to type fast, you just type like an idiot, like you're pissed?
You type like that all the time.
I am rubbish. I'll get it as... Okay. Thanks for that. Who's winning the Community Shield, Mark? Also, any idea when Wan-Bissaka is getting sold? Mitch, we're trying desperately to sell Wan-Bissaka. There is an offer on the table, but it's about United getting what they want. They'll probably want 50 million back, you know. Mark, we have less depth than a pool full of Man City fans, says Arman. I am doing the Community Shield later, so make sure you tune into That's Football for that. Definitely do that. Yeah, please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're getting very close to 1.4 million, which is great. But also, I just want to give a big shout out to our pre-season tour sponsor, which is Watch and Go. Wash and Go, as I'm sure you guys all know by now, Wash and Go is the best and most cost-effective way to get clean, strong, and healthy hair like me. And I know that because it says it on the bottle, and I use it every day. For today's game, United find themselves in Norway, and what could be a better place to promote Wash and Go than Norway? I mean, look at their mythical figures. Thor, amazing hair. Odin, amazing hair. In fact, all those Norse gods have pretty great hair, long hair as well. And I'm sure they would have benefited from Wash and Go. Actually, one of the things I've found from researching for this promotion was the gene for blonde hair is thought to have come from the Norwegian area of the world. So to be honest, Norway is a dream for advertising Wash and Go. The only slight issue is linking to Manchester United, as the most famous Norwegian to play for United was, of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And honestly, I still think it's too soon to joke about him, to be honest with you. Anyway, if you want to get yourself some amazing looking hair just like mine, then Wash and Go have a bit of an offer going on at the moment on their Amazon page. If you buy a multi-pack of their classic or sport product, then the price of each bottle works out at less than £1 each, which is pretty unbelievable value for money. So make sure you hit the link in the description and pick yourself up a few bottles of Wash and Go today. And as I say, thanks very much to Wash and Go for sponsoring the content throughout the tour. Really appreciate that. And as I said, the links are in the description. Or you can use this modern technology thing called a QR code where you scan it with your camera, bottom right-hand corner to do that. You can also subscribe to the channel while you're there and scan the QR code. Hi, Mark. I love you and your channel. Should we replace I don't know what that's all about here, bro, but it sounds a bit controversial, so I won't be doing that. I still remember when Erik ten Hag... sounds a bit racist, that, bro. I think I might need to block you from the channel there. I still remember when Erik ten Hag signed us with Ronaldo, was excited. I mean, can I just say to people who do super chats, like, I do read ahead. I don't just read it out. So if you're trying to catch me out with something racist or horrible, I do read it before I read it. You know, I read it, but my brain's a sentence ahead. So you're just wasting your time. You just get blocked. I still remember when Erik ten Hag signed with us, Ronaldo was excited. So the discussion of him leaving is not about playing Champions League. It's about the faith Erik ten Hag puts on players like Maguire and keeping him as captain, says Aimer. Ali says, here we are a week away from the first league game and we're practically sending out last season's starting 11, says Ali. Look, you know, what am I excited about today? Let's bring a bit of positivity here. I'm excited tomorrow because we get to see Ronaldo play. And I want to talk about Ronaldo in a few minutes' time. But what I'm excited about today is that it's another chance to see Erik ten Hag manage Manchester United. So what we're looking at 70% possession, which will definitely get against Simeone. He's happy to have 10% possession. He's a boring part of the bus manager. So 70% possession. This is what ten Hag wants. Tick. We should get that today. More shots than them, over double figures, over 10 shots on target. We should do that. And passing accuracy, 90%, double the passes of the opposition. Atletico Madrid, I think this game was actually arranged before we got ten Hag, but it's the perfect game for us a week out. They don't want the ball. They park the bus. And we're going to play a lot of teams like this season. So it's a good opposition to play. On top of that, their fitness levels are shit compared to ours. They've only played one pre-season game, which I think was Wednesday, where they were doing the whole change their team at half time, which they'll probably do again. They're 2 weeks behind us. They don't start their preseason. They don't start their season until the middle of August. So it's a perfect game for United. I think we could pick any team and do well. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's the thing. Am I concerned about the starting 11 being mainly the team from last season, says Alligator? Well, I've been concerned with this for a long time, but you get called negative. I think Donny and Ericsson would be better than Fred and Scott in midfield, says Darren. Hi, Mark. Can you give a shout out to my two boys, Jacob and Jordan? It's their first time going to Old Trafford tomorrow, says Scott. Enjoy it, Jacob and Jordan. You're going to get to see Ronaldo, which is something that when you're a lot older from now and he's long retired, you can say, I saw Cristiano Ronaldo play football. And that is something that many United fans are really fortunate to have had over the last year. And hopefully we'll have it this season as well, fingers crossed. The ability to be able to say, I saw Cristiano Ronaldo play, which I'm fortunate enough to have seen numerous times from his first era. Yeah, it's great. So enjoy it. Garner and Donny and Ericsson are better than McFred, says Samir. Mark, do you think any of today's subs will feature tomorrow, or is there not enough time for them to make it back for the game, says Yusuf? I think that's a great question, Yusuf, of which I cannot answer, and hopefully Ten Hag will answer, because to me, logically, Lisandro Martinez and Ericsson should have just played tomorrow 90 minutes. I don't see why they're here if they're not going to play tomorrow, because what's on the screen? All right, we've got a bit of training ground footage there. Okay, so yeah, I don't understand. I was like, bloody hell, we're showing the match. We're one of them stupid channels. So this is live footage from the ground that you can see. They're just training there at the moment. But you know, it's interesting because Ryan and Adam are at the ground, by the way. So we'll have a video from Adam in a minute. But I do agree. I do agree that Ericsson and Martinez, you'd want them to play at least 45 minutes. They must both be coming on at halftime. That's what I'm saying. Because why go to Oslo and then not, play 20 minutes and then not play tomorrow? So I don't think they will play tomorrow, but I think they'll probably play 45 minutes today. Mark, do you think any of today's have done that one from Yusuf? And it's a very good question, to be fair. So I think they will play half the match. There was another question about what your thoughts are on the team being mainly the team from last year. Well, I don't think I do. Look, there's a lot of people I respect in this industry, and I see some of the stuff they say, especially about Ronaldo, and I completely disagree with it. And I do wonder, are they saying that because they've got relationships with different players? Are they saying that because they've got, information coming from the club? Or is it just a purely personal opinion? And what I mean by that is I'll see people saying, yeah, Ronaldo shouldn't be allowed to play tomorrow. He's not bigger than the club and he should be benched. He shouldn't be allowed to play. And that sounds like it's a personal opinion. But then you think, well, are they getting information from somebody else in the dressing room? Are they getting information from somebody in the club? Or is it just a personal opinion? But I always come back to this. We have got a manager, and that manager will make decisions that you don't like. The Ronaldo haters are trying to come up with this story that Ronaldo shouldn't play for the club and should be sold because he's not bigger than the club. And yet the manager of the club desperately wants him to play and build a team around him. So are you behind the manager or not? We've also got a manager that's picking McFred over Donny again, just like Solskjaer did. I criticise Solskjaer for doing that. If I don't criticise Ten Hag for doing it, I might be a hypocrite. But if I criticise Ten Hag, am I not backing him? It's difficult. So I just say, look, ideally, I wouldn't have started McFred, but the manager's made his choice, and I like the manager. I think it will cost him his job ultimately if he keeps doing it all season, but we know he wants De Jong, and that's therefore the board's fault. I don't think. In fact, I know that Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to pick McFred. Ollie wanted to pick McFred. I don't think Ten Hag wants to pick McFred. I think he has to pick them because he hasn't got De Jong yet. And the same with the front three. He's got no depth there at all. And whose fault's that? Again, I blame the board on it. So there's a lot of people going, well, this team's the same team as last year. Look, of course, I'd sit down with some of these players and I'd say you're very lucky to still be at the club. Some of the performances last year were sackable. And here you are back in a United shirt with another chance. Very lucky. You better grab it because you're very lucky. And the thing is, these players aren't stupid. Well, I think some of them are, but like the vast majority of them aren't stupid. Well, maybe they are. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're a certain player last year who effectively downed tools, and so many of them did, like it's not just one or two, so many of them did. They were appalling in United shirts. If they think that's been forgotten because we've got a new manager, then they're going to be really, really getting a strong wake-up call. It will only take a couple of bad performances at the start of the season from one of these players who were bad last year, and everyone will be on their back again. So, look, whether they deserve a second chance or not, they're getting one. They better grasp it, and they better grasp it with consistency, because one good performance against Brighton don't mean you're back. You've got to go and do it against Brentford and Liverpool and beyond that for 10 games. And that's the challenge for these players. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned that a lot of this starting 11 for Ten Hag is the same players as last year. And not because individually I don't rate those players, but because collectively they shat on a United shirt and wiped their arse with it. That's what they did. They were terrible last year. So That's what makes me nervous about this team, is that so many of them led us down last year. Can they all turn it around? Well, they can. I can't predict it, but they can. I put a tweet out this morning. Rushy says, Mark, we should buy Mariba for midfield. Okay. United, I think we should make a pledge now. If United win the league this season, we should all shave our head and go bold. If United win the league this season, I'll shave my head. No worries about it, Al Nasser. But I'll tell you what, at the end of May, I will still have a full head of hair, unless, something else has gone wrong. Should let your audience know the manager owes it to the players to give them a chance to show if they're good enough for the new system instead of just banishing a player's career due to history. I disagree with that. True. Completely disagree with that. So we should give a load of shit players another chance instead of new players. Yeah, I'm sure Pep and Klopp did that. Great idea for success. Maybe he's giving people a chance again because he hasn't got the signings in he wanted. Maybe that's true. Mark, do you think we should extend Ronaldo's contract with the hope of getting Champions League next season? Says Scott. I know United want to do it. Marcel says, hi, Mark. Do you think Ten Hag will do Klopp and turn these players, Martial, Rashford, Sancho, etc., into world beaters? Savage reminds me of Beckham, says Marcel. Yeah, but Jurgen Klopp didn't turn these players into world beaters. He bought most of them and turned them into world beaters. Jurgen Klopp didn't walk into Liverpool and keep 11 players and turn them into world beaters. He bought most of that team. I mean, I'm not a Liverpool fan, so I can't categorically tell you who he bought, but I presume he bought, I know he bought Alisson, Fabinho. I think he bought Firmino. Did he buy Mane? Did he buy Salah? He bought a lot of those players. So, a manager's got to be allowed to buy players. You can't just use and inherit what you've got. I've never known, somebody in the chat might know, I've never known a manager go into a team and use somebody else's signings to win trophies. Like, you've got to buy players. Would it be worth United setting up an R&D department, invest 50 million or so, make a time machine and transport us back to 2001, says Newt. And how do you see this season for Fred, says Only Has? I think Fred's going to have an important part to play because he offers something unique. Trampoline first touch. No, I'm joking. Look, Fred's a weird player for me because when we first got him, I was quite excited. Before COVID, I thought he was playing really well. Then I read since 1975 says your thoughts on Phil Jones, not available again. Just get rid of him. I think everyone would agree with that. But Fred does offer something a lot of these players don't in that midfield. He's tenacious. His tackling ability is probably better than everybody else's. He's a bit of a headless chicken at times. His positional sense is terrible at picking up the runners, and his passing is a bit off. But he's probably more, sometimes I'm trying to think of an analogy here, but Fred to me is, well, in a way, Fred's a little bit like a few other players in the United side. They're a problem, but they're way down the list. I think if you were Liverpool and Fred was in your midfield, you'd get rid of him and you'd buy somebody else. But we've got so many other problems before Fred. And I think Fred Fred's good enough to get you fourth place. In a midfield with De Jong in it, he's good enough to get you fourth place. And that is what a lot of people would take right here, right now. So I suppose the best way of explaining it is, there's a few players at United that I think in year one are not a problem. And I'd put Fred in there as well. 2 scenarios: sign more players and actually make an attempt to start afresh, or make do with what we've got and get McFred again to mid-table. I trust Ten Hag after our pre-season, but uncertainty hurts, says TG. Thanks for your super chat, pal. Why don't you have... so I feel like... well, God, I've got another one as well. Okay. Another racist in the chat. Gone. Sorry, we don't seem to have many people modding today. I don't know whether it's a day off for them, but we'll certainly sort that out for the start of the new season. Few people creeping through. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're literally so close to hitting it. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. I've got Adam coming on at some point. No. Okay. No worries. Okay. Gary Neville just announced the new fans overlap. Are you going to be in it? They'll never ask me on, Emma. They won't have me on because they've got that other lad on who basically tries and messes up my career, which is why I'm not on the kickoff as well. Breaking news. But 1.4 million, says Charvel. I'm just having a quick look. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we've hit it. We're one away. Let me have a look. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Charville says we've hit 1.4 million. We have hit 1.4 million. Thanks to everyone in the chat. That's amazing. That's very nice to hit, isn't it? Before the new season, 1.4 million subscribers on the United Stand. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and get involved. Every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. Watch-alongs, match reactions, player ratings voted for by you, stats, the lot, everything's here. So make sure you get involved. And one thing that is always here on this channel is real debate and conversation. It might not always be easy on the ears. That's the whole point. But, we definitely generate those thoughts in people's minds. And that's what it's all about. You're not meant to be, well, it's like Ema says, Adam hates Ronaldo. And this is what makes me laugh. This is what this channel's meant to be about. It's meant to be about different opinions. I'm sure me and Adam at some point are going to have a head-to-head about Ronaldo. I'm sure we'll try and arrange that at some point, but he's been so busy and I've been so busy. But he has a very different opinion to me about Ronaldo. And some of you do. And some of you agree with me. But that's the whole point, isn't it? That was always the idea behind the United Stand, is that, I mean, it's just like nobody... Obviously, I think my opinions are right. That's just the way I am. But it's not a dictatorship. And you do get these prats online who basically, spend most of their time clipping me up, trying to say, oh, look at this. Look what he's saying about my captain, Harry Maguire. He's not a United fan. No United fan would be, oh, he's causing the booing, even though he doesn't want people to boo. It's subconsciously, he's sending a different message. And then you go down their timeline and they're slagging Ronaldo off. Or they're slagging Donny off, and you think, all right, I know what you are. You're one of those, aren't you? You're one of those, well, I can't say what the word is, but you know what I mean. Would a De Jong deal loan with a buyout option be viable, similar to how Spurs did with Kulusevski? Says Killen. De Jong makes me tired, and it's not, I don't want to be tired. I want to enjoy this game. Mikhail, thank you very much. Hi, Mark. I said McFred, not McFred. Women's Euro final tomorrow. Watch along. Keep going with the subs. Yeah, TG, you might want to check what time the women's game final kicks off tomorrow and what time United kick off, because it's not possible for me to do a women's game watch along as much as I would like to. I believe it kicks off at 5 o'clock. Well, Man United are kicking off at 4 o'clock. So there's a clash there. There's a lot of good sport tomorrow actually clashing. Formula One's on as well. I'm Brutus, says, long time watcher, mate. Cheers for your content. Has accompanied me on many a run. Good. I need to go on a run. It's interesting that I go on a run with you, but don't get the calorie burn, which is a shame. Nathan Allen, thanks for the super chat. Not reading him out, but yes, yeah, that I can't be bothered with it. It just gives him bloody attention, which he doesn't deserve. Let's go with Javon's going to watch them both. Yeah, I can't do a double watch along. It doesn't work. I can't do that. But keep your questions coming in. We're about 15 minutes away from the start of this game. Holgate Gaming, thank you very much for subscribing. Becoming a member. 1.4 million is a milestone. Well done, says Jacob. Well, I wanted to go back to that actually. I just want to say a big, massive thank you to you. Obviously, it's great for the channel to have so many subscribers, etc. But the cold, harsh facts are it's 1.4 million subscribers. I'm one person, and the people who work on the channel are one person, and we'd have 10 subscribers. So the fact is, it's because of you. And thank you very much, everybody, for getting involved. And let's see where we can take it next. I think this season's going to be a very interesting one. Obviously, during the next week, we will start doing season previews. We'll get some guests on and people like that. In fact, I was just had a WhatsApp from Paul Ince. We'll get him on this week because managing Reading today. So good luck to him. I've told him to get Mabry on loan. I said he's perfect for what you want. Creativity, a bit of fight, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, the season is going to be fast upon us, and we're going to be talking about, what's achievable this year. I'll have to have a think about that for the video that we do this week. But what I will say is, I do think that we will have ups and downs. Yeah, I can't see this season being consistently good. I hope it can be. But Ten Hag would have to be manager of the year to have a consistently good season. And I don't think he can get manager of the year. I don't think he can topple Klopp or Pep this year. Maybe not even a Conte. So I think it will be an up and down season. I think I don't know whether some of our fans accept that. The way some of them are acting at the moment, it's like they think we're going to win every game. We won't. We will lose some games. We will lose some games badly. I don't mean we'll get stuffed, but we will, we'll lose, and we'll lose because we deserve to lose. We'll win some games and be like, oh my God, we've not seen this for a decade. So I think there's going to be some real highs, and there's going to be some, I wouldn't say lows, because I think it's realistic for me, but I think we're in for a mixed season, and I think we're going to be somewhere between 4th and 6th. The 4th, 5th, or 6th is where we'll finish, I think, realistically. The Europa League is a possibility. I don't know who else is in the Europa League at the moment, but that's a tournament you'd hope that we can go deep into as well. So look, I'm realistic about it. My bad, I'm working whilst watching. Cheers for all the good content. Congratulations, says TG. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Did you manage to finish Red Dead on them 11 p.m. streams? No, I haven't finished it yet, Nathan. I do want to revisit it because I've actually just watched a really good series called 1883, which is a Western, and it's very much like that game. So I probably will revisit it. Tao says, I don't agree with Ronaldo being booed, but Rooney was booed multiple times in his United career. So what's the difference, says Tao. I don't condone booing. So you're talking to the wrong person here. I don't care whether it's Harry Maguire, Cristiano Ronaldo, Anthony Martial, Wayne Rooney. I don't agree with booing. I just don't agree with it. I think we're better than that. I've never liked what Real Madrid did to Casillas and Ronaldo, and I don't want us to be that club. We are a divided fan base. There's many people with many different views. That's the way it is. But I think every United fan in their heart wants this football club's fan base to be the best. And to be the best, I think there's some things that you don't do. And I don't think we should be booing players, really. I think those players might deserve to be booed. Maybe they do, but doesn't mean that we have to do it. Who's more likely to have the better season, Rashford, Sancho, or Elanga, and rank from best to worst? By the way, congratulations, 1.4. Well, it's very easy for me to rank those, Nicholas. Elanga's, I don't like the word worst, so I'll start with the best. The best player is Sancho, then it's Rashford, then it's Elanga. Sancho is on a different level to Rashford. He's more technical, he's more intelligent in his build-up play, and I think that's more relevant to the way Erik ten Hag wants to play. I think Marcus Rashford's more of an explosive player. He plays on the edge. Probably a better finisher, but and Elanga's just the big unknown, really, isn't he? I think we're going to need a midfielder and a winger to have a top 5 finish, as Darren. And Ronaldo had a family tragedy, and within a week, played better than the rest of the team. We as the fans are lucky to see one of the greats play, says Brian. Thank you very much there. Lots of people watching. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We've gone past 1.4 million today, which is fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Really, really appreciate that. I don't know whether this is true. There's a story going around that Benny McCarthy, the ex-striker, I think he played for Blackburn, South African, I believe, has joined United as the first team striker coach. All-time top scorer for South Africa, played for West Ham as well. Didn't used to play for Manchester United, so I suppose, thanks, Nathan. Thanks for that. Sorry if you've already covered this, but do we know why Sancho is not starting? Slight knock is what we're hearing. Let me just go to Twitter because there might be something in there. Let me have a look. Sometimes there is a quote or two from Ten Hag, so we'll see if we've got one. "30 minutes to kick off." Ten Hag just doesn't seem to talk to the media at all anymore. You'd normally get something before the start of the match. If anyone's got anything, let us know, and I'll read it out. But he didn't do a pre-match press conference. And Luke Shaw's missed the trip through illness, so that's not necessary. Oh, I've got a few quotes here. Now here we go. Quite a few. So on Jadon Sancho, overnight he got sick, so he's not available. So it's sickness. That's fine. Hopefully he'll rest up. I had sickness a few weeks ago. I think I had a dodgy scallop. Oh God, when you're being sick and there's nothing left. I was like that for about 3 hours. So hopefully Jadon's not got that. Eric Ten Hag goes on to say, this is the last test. We want to get the players to get the minutes in their legs. And of course, you want to see a team performance. It's a good test because it's a difficult opponent, really tough to play against. So I'm looking forward to what's coming out of this test. See, I disagree with Ten Hag. I don't think this is a difficult test because I don't think Atletico Madrid's fitness levels are anywhere near us. The majority has to play 90 minutes because this is what you want to go into league. So this is the purpose of these two games. On seeing Lisandro Martinez and Eriksen, we will see how our game goes, but we want to get many players with 90 minutes in their legs, and Martinez and Eriksen are not ready for 90 minutes. So, there you go. Typical style, difficult to play against teams, so not easy and a big challenge. And also, Luke Shaw has missed the game with illness as well. So a couple of illness updates there coming in, that Luke Shaw and Jadon Sancho missing out because of illness. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because we, Mark Wilkins, thank you very much for your super chat, pal. Says thank you. Well, thank you to you. The interesting thing there is that would Luke Shaw have played ahead of Malacia? One of the positives in this team, would it have actually happened if he'd been fit? And that I suppose that's a question that everybody needs to make their own mind up about. I think there was a chance that Malacia would have started anyway, if I'm being completely honest, but we don't know. We don't know about that. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see what happens. James is sick of McFred. COVID round 16. I tell you what, there is a lot of COVID going around at the moment. We were away in Devon last week and we were up in Manchester last week, and a lot of people that we've visited have messaged us saying that they know people who've got COVID, etc., etc. So yeah, interesting how it's going around again, and hopefully people, if they are getting it, aren't getting it too bad. Are you excited, says Michael? I think that's a great question. I'm always very excited to watch Eric Ten Hag, and I think the reason I enjoy watching Eric Ten Hag's style of football is because it's exciting. And as I said, 70% possession. We've never had so much focus on the stats for United since we brought in Eric Ten Hag, and the reason for that is quite simply there are 4 or 5 indicators of how Eric Ten Hag wants to play. He's quite an easy manager to read, really. I'm excited for tomorrow to see Ronaldo. It's the pink shorts, says MVP. Yeah, Drawey's already took the piss out of me about these shorts, by the way. So yeah, what I was going to say is this: that the way he plays football, Eric Ten Hag, he will want 70% possession. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. He will also want to have more shots, over 10 shots on goal. He'll want double the amount of passes to Atletico Madrid, and he'll want a much better passing success rate. So these are all things that excite me. Why do you think he's playing McFred? $1 million question. Wish I had the answer. To be honest with you, I think it's because he thinks it's the best midfield he's got. I hate to say it because I don't like McTominay and Fred. Individually, I don't mind them, but as a collective, they make me, not happy. But one thing I would say about them is, if you want a bit of height and you want a bit of tenacity, they do complement each other. Are they good enough? God, no. But I think we are in a position where nobody would be surprised by them playing now. God, my fingers ain't working today. There we go. Nobody would be surprised with them playing. Anything new on Sesko aside from the first update, says Joe? I don't actually believe the Sesko story. I don't really talk about it a lot because people will say, I just don't want to listen. But I don't actually believe that there's anything in it. I think the timing of it is quite convenient for United to be linked to an exciting young player that will never buy. It just puts a bit of positivity around the club at a time where they need a bit of positivity because they've done absolutely nothing in relation to what needed to be done, which is the midfield. So yeah, let's talk about buying a young, exciting striker that actually isn't even ready to play at the moment. So no, I don't think there's anything in it. But I'd like to be wrong. I mean, he's an exciting player, I think, from what I've seen of him, which is quite limited. But you do your research, you look into him, you speak to a few people, and he is very exciting. But I don't think there's anything in it. I really don't. I know we shouldn't have to settle, but if the Glazers don't pay up for Anthony, what are some alternatives we might go after? I don't know, Andrew. I mean, it's very difficult. I think this is a very easy transfer window to read if you know what the manager wants. And the manager wants Anthony and the manager wants De Jong, but whether we can deliver that or not, I don't know. Let me just catch up on some of these super chats. McFreddy's back. I feel Sancho has missed several games before with being sick. He has a weaker stomach than my dog. I don't know, Sean, actually, how many games he's missed with being sick. Have you seen De Jong's new wage? He's on 560,000 euros a week, owed 160 million over the next 4 years, and now Laporta says he can stay without a pay cut, says Jacob. Yeah, I'm going to talk about De Jong a little bit later tonight. I need to sort of get my head around a lot of quotes from today. Hi, Mark. Should United go all in on the Carabao Cup, says Philip? Well, the reason I don't say that we can win the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup is I think in seasons gone by, you could target one of those if you're not one of the big clubs as a bit of success. But last year's Carabao Cup and FA Cup final was Liverpool against Chelsea. It's no longer a viable way of winning a trophy now. I would say that the Europa League might be our best chance. I know we should have done that one from Andrew. Nathan Allen, Sean Dyche won't be happy. Company is actually getting Burnley playing some decent football. I watched them yesterday. The passing was there, says Nathan Allen. Hi, Mark. Would you be happy to go back out of the De Jong deal and grab Tielemans and overpay for Anthony? I'd personally do it. Just asking for your opinion, says Declan. I think the problem with buying Tielemans is I still think he'd be on the bench for McTominay and Fred. I want De Jong because I know he'll bench one of them straight away. Would you or the team consider coming to a game as a guest, as I tend to have a spare ticket from time to time? Yes, William, we'd love to do that. Always can sort someone out to come easily. No worries about that. Thank you very much, William. Laporta's full of crap, says Janine. Yeah, I think he is. It's the pink shorts, says YouTube. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks everyone who's subscribing. We've gone past 1.4 million today, which is fantastic. Thanks everybody for that. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And can I just give a shout out to Wash and Go? Yes, you can. I can. Wash and Go, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. You can get your bottle delivered to your door through the link in the video description. I use it every day, shampoo and conditioner. Sponsoring the show, Wash and Go. Check it out. And hopefully United's season will continue to be like Wash and Go. I'm tempted to say Ten Hag's won every game, but we didn't win every game, did we? Van der Beek hasn't played for 2 years. Give him time, says Gariga. Agree, I cannot get on board with that, I'm afraid. Sorry, pal. He's been dropped for McTominay. Own it. It is what it is. It is what it is. He has been dropped for McTominay, and what his future is at the club, who knows? But he's been dropped, and I think we need to own up to the fact that another manager favours McTominay and Fred over Donny. It is what it is. Same manager who favours Maguire over Varane. It is what it is. You just got to deal with it and hope it works. If the board don't get Ten Hag the players he wants, would you give him a pass for this season, says Andrew? You can't give a Man United manager a pass. As much as I want to, you can't. We're Manchester United. You can't just say it's acceptable to have a shit season. It's not. I mean, I think that we will improve. Go bold, says Joe. Happy to support such an amazing channel. Keep up the great work, says Billy. Thank you very much. 41 months Billy's been a member, by the way. Do we have the Atletico Madrid team news? That's one thing I don't know. Let me have a quick look if I can find it. We've taken absolutely no notice about Atletico Madrid because, as I said, they are okay. I've got it here: Oblak, Jimenez, Savic, Molina, Ronaldo, Condobia, Lemar, Llorente, Carrasco, Cunha, Correa. They will make loads of subs. Remember, this is their second game of the preseason. They are not really ready for this. It would be, look, I'm not saying we're definitely going to win, but I'm predicting 4-0 because our fitness levels are a lot better. I agree with what Chizzy says. He says that's a decent Atletico Madrid side, and it is a decent Atletico Madrid side. I'm not saying that it isn't, but having been a veteran of many a preseason tour watch-along, fitness levels are really important. I remember in the US a few years ago, we played Real Madrid. It was their second preseason game, and we were 2 weeks ahead of them, and we passed them off the park. We ran them off the park. There's a lot of difference between there's a lot of difference between our fitness levels and their fitness levels, is what I'm trying to say. And I think we will see that today. And not only that remember, we're a team that wants the possession and they're a team that doesn't. So I think we will comfortably dominate today. But look, who knows? Maybe we won't. Ronaldo tomorrow. is the game at 4 o'clock. So we've got a double watch along this weekend. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, smash a like on the video. Lovely weather in Oslo, by the way. Let's not forget, we've not given a shout out. If you're watching from Norway, thank you very much for having us, the United fan base and team out in Oslo. Love it. I actually quite like the fact that we do this sort of thing. We sort of do the tour where we go, obviously Australia and Thailand, but we have another game in Europe as well. And nice stadium in Norway. Massive Manchester United support in Norway. So massive shout out for anyone who's got themselves there. Not everyone will be Norwegian. There might be a few Swedes or Finns or Danes. I'm trying to think of people. There could be some Dutch. There could be all sorts of nationalities there. But Swedish people are called Swedes, aren't they? I mean, I'm hoping I've got that right. But if not, you know, I've got it wrong. But anyway, we're about ready to start. It's 12:44 UK time. 12:45 UK time is the start of the match. With Ronaldo staying, do you think he's been given reassurances that players are incoming? Well done on the 1.4 million, 2 million soon, says Niki. Thanks very much for the super chat, please. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. The match is about to start here. I don't think Ronaldo's been given any assurances because I don't think Ronaldo's definitely staying. I think people are getting confused here. I don't think that Ronaldo is definitely staying. I still think there's a chance he could leave. I just choose not to be a hater in relation to Ronaldo. So, yeah. Anyway, can you call Ethan a prat, says Shay. It's been great to be a member for 13 months. Why are we missing Varane, Sancho and Ronaldo in this game, says Pranav. Well, Ten Hag has basically said that Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez are not fit enough to play 90 minutes. So I think it's very doubtful that they'll be playing against Brighton next week. Ronaldo obviously will play tomorrow and Sancho is sick. James, hi Mark from USA. I wish there would be a think tank with smart people, investors with deep pockets, so figure out how to overthrow the Glazer dictatorship. Thank you very much, James. And Mark, sorry for asking, but any transfer news, says Mikael Roach. I haven't really looked at any. We've started anyway. We're 5 seconds in already. United starting with the ball here. Atletico Madrid will probably play with the front two. Where's Griezmann for Atletico Madrid? Where's João Felix for Atletico Madrid? Anyone want to answer in the chat where they are? Are they on the bench? Cool. They're both on the bench. Okay, so we should see them in the second half. I don't know whether anyone knows who's on the bench for Atletico Madrid, but United getting really stuck here. Trying to pass out from the back. They get a goal kick. Lindelof, Maguire and De Gea getting in a bit of trouble. Trying to pass out from the back. Neither of them, none of them filled me with confidence there, to be honest. Neither Lindelof, De Gea or Maguire. It's like, fucking hell. And we're doing it again here. Into Fred. Bloody hell. I do not like United doing this. Passing out from the back with De Gea, Fred, Maguire and Lindelof. Yeah. Anyway, we've booted it clear now. Long ball. If in doubt, boot it out. Maguire playing as the right-sided centre-back again. Massive hint that that's where he's going to be playing this season, of course. I'd like to see Maguire passing it to Delo a lot more this game, which he probably will do because Shaw's not at left-back. Here we are again. De Gea into Malacia does very well with his first touch there. We're getting stuck. Tell you what, they're pressing us very well, Atletico Madrid here. And he's done quite well there to find Bruno. A long ball down the flank for Rashford. And shoot straight. Well played by Rashford. Stood his man up on the break. Nice ball down the flank from Bruno. All comes from good work by Malacia. Gets past his man. The shot's not on from Rashford really there, but he's got a right to shoot. He's got past his man, but probably should have passed there. But good play by Rashford there. Good play by Malacia. I don't. Is Griezmann on the bench for Atletico Madrid, or is he a Barcelona player? I don't know. I lose track. You know, wouldn't surprise me. We're trying to pass out from the back here, and we're getting a good. They're pressing us very well for a team that's only playing their second pre-season game. So Sancho is ill. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. By the way, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Of course, we've got another watch along tomorrow. Return of Ronaldo at Old Trafford against Rayo Vallecano. We should see Varane starting tomorrow as well. Both Lisandro Martinez and Eriksen are here. Oh, stake at the back. Martial just got to square it. Oh, he's put it over the bar. Great chance for Martial. And the speed he got away with there. He wants a penalty. And I think on FIFA, he probably would get it. The defender makes a mistake. It's just look at the pure pace of Martial here. The centre-backs can't get anywhere near him. Should score there. Should score there. Should score there. Look at the pace to get away. Malacia is so good under pressure. This is MVP. I think we've got really good options at left back, haven't we? We're a lot, yeah, but as I said, we're a lot quicker than them. You can see it. And I know some of our players would be quicker than theirs anyway, but we're a lot sharper than them. There's a lot of space at the back for people. And of course, Elanga, whatever you think about him, he's fast. It's going to go for a goal kick. Good start by Malacia. Glad I can cancel Man United MTV after this weekend, says Sean. Yeah, both games are on MUTV. I'm sure people are finding other ways of watching them anyway. Jinx wants to see Martinez play. Defensive line's not particularly high so far. It's quite a deep defensive line. Atletico Madrid playing with two up front. And Atletico Madrid's line has probably been a bit higher than ours, to be fair. Michael says, get rid of Martial. I'm bored of him already. I'm all right, Dano. Hope you're doing well. Got a bit of a bad back, but that's because I was driving for 5 hours yesterday. It's a long time. Traffic was terrible. Can see United winning 2-1 today. Martial and Rashford to score. Also, what did you think of the final neighbours last night, says Joel? It was all right. I think it's time to cancel it, really, but you know, I used to watch it as a kid. Nige, thank you very much. Hold on. Corner to United. Can you polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter? That's McFred, says Nige. Corner for United. You wouldn't normally expect Atletico Madrid to concede from a corner, but it is pre-season. They're normally very, very good in the air. And Maguire winning a header again. I mean, look, he's fantastic at winning headers. He just can't direct them. He's like a Ferrari without a sat-nav in the air. Good chance for Martial. Paced away from the defence. Rashford's already had a shot as well. Another corner for Manchester United. Diesel's at the game tomorrow. Looking forward to it. You know, I've always said this about Maguire. You can say what you like. He's very good in the air, but he just can't direct it. And Lindelof winning a header there. Can't direct it. Maybe we should work on that. You know, like you can practice your passing by hitting the target. Maybe they should practice that. Yeah, we are playing again tomorrow. 4 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Ronaldo at Old Trafford is the news. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll be live for that watch along as well. But here, 0-0 against Atletico Madrid after 7 minutes. Bit stop-start, but United looking good. I am doing a Community Shield watch along, so make sure you tune in for that. Liverpool against Man City. Maybe Haaland against Nunez. We'll see. And Malacia is getting a lot of praise in the chats on the corners as well. I think he's got a good chance of starting against Brighton. I mean, Luke Shaw's ill. He's not been dropped. But hi from Bolton, says Paul Roscoe. Hello, Paul. Another good ball by Malacia here. Into Martial. Oh, he nearly scored. It was great. Nice ball by Fred. Bad first touch by Alanga. He stood out so well in this game, Malacia. I'm not joking. If you're not watching, I mean, as Tur says there, Malacia is a beast. It's not easy to stand out in a game when you're fullback, but he has been superb so far. Peter, thank you very much for joining the members club. He really understands his role as well. And he keeps banging these balls in to areas that Martial can run the line down. And, I'm just starting to take a bit of control of the game now. Nathaniel says, hi, just want to say congratulations to the South African women's team for becoming African champions. Can't wait till we beat the Lionesses, says Nathaniel. Thank you very much. Lindelof just caught a little bit late there. Heavy landing. That was a great ball by Malacia, though. In behind, Martial does well, and it's good recovery defending by Atletico Madrid. Apparently Arsenal are winning. Sancho seems to get ill quite a lot, don't he? Definitely need more options in the attack. Well, whether he gets ill or not a lot, Adam, we've not got enough options in the attack. Everything's going down the left-hand side again. We're very lopsided down the left. I'm just going to take some notes, actually. So apparently Arsenal are 3-0 up after 15 minutes and they're playing Sevilla. So Arsenal really confirming what I sort of predicted, that the La Liga teams are nowhere near as fit as the Premier League teams. Now, the Premier League teams start a week tomorrow or a week last night. But La Liga teams don't start for 2 more weeks. So I think the fitness levels of the La Liga teams are probably not there at the moment. There's been a bit of a head clash here with 2 Atletico Madrid players. But Arteta's cooking at the moment, says Thuto. McTominay running over to give Ten Hag an apple. It's Alanga who's down at the moment. I thought it was Martial because it happened quite centrally. I think Alanga might be okay. I think the defender collided with another Atletico Madrid player. Can you imagine Malacia crossing for Ronaldo, says Wolfie? I know. Angled from deep would be good. Get the champagne out, says Amiasi. Odegaard is a captain. At least we don't have a fridge, and Tielemans is incoming. Well, I'm the one who's been telling you about Tielemans to Arsenal for a long time. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't happen. But we'll see. But yeah, Arsenal doing very well at the moment. But of course, pre-season doesn't matter. It's all about the opening game of the season. And it was actually an Atletico Madrid defender who took out another Atletico Madrid player in Alanga. I think they'll both be fine. Ronaldo and Alanga, the 2 down, but they're both on their feet. Jensen loves pre-season games. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved on the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We'll be live tonight at 8 o'clock. Every morning at 10 o'clock, all your transfer news. Obviously, we're live for watch-alongs. We've got previews, match reaction, where we'll do player ratings, which you vote for. At the moment, I'd say Malacia is everybody's standout player. I'm doing an Arsenal watch-along on Friday, actually, on That's Football, opening game of the Premier League season. I forget who they're playing, actually. Are they playing Palace or are they playing Bournemouth for some reason? I think that. But it's 4-0 to Arsenal now. Quite a physical game here. Sancho's ill, Harry, and so is Luke Shaw. Saka's got 2. Let me know when you do stats, mate, and I'll flick it back. Dano, yes, I am doing a Community Shield watch along. Atletico Madrid having a bit of a foray on the forward run here, but there's an offside as well. Oh, no, I think there's a foul, actually. Foul by Malacia. United are a lot tastier than Atletico Madrid, as we expected. And look, for anybody who doesn't think that the fitness levels of the Premier League club is going to be more than the fitness levels of the La Liga club, look at what Arsenal are doing to Sevilla. It's only their 2nd game so far for Atletico Madrid have got a free kick. In it comes. Chance over the bar. Half a chance for them. Goes for a corner. Okay, so we've got some stats coming up on the screen for you as well. 76% possession for United, as you would expect against Atletico Madrid, but also with a Ten Hag side, we want that possession. 4 shots to 0, more than double the passes, and 84% passing accuracy. So Ten Hag would be very happy with that in the opening stages to this game. And it's certainly what we would expect. You'd expect this against Atletico Madrid anyway. I mean, I've seen Atletico Madrid have 35% possession and win a game. So you'd expect us to have way more possession than them. But as I said, their fitness levels are not the same as ours. And realistically, I'd expect us to start getting a couple of goals soon. That's a bad ball by Fred. Rashford's not read that. McTominay is playing. And I think that's sarcasm from Anson. Rashford's not that quick with the ball. Molina is challenging him every time. Atletico is looking sharper, says Patrick. Well, I don't know about that, mate. I don't think we're using the right-hand side enough. I'd like to see us use the right-hand side a little bit more, to be fair. I'm worried for this upcoming season because even if we get De Jong, our midfield is still the weakest out of the top 6 as Matthew Morella. The lineup is De Gea, Delo, Malacia, Maguire, Lindelof, McFred, Bruno, not Sancho, Elanga, Martial and Rashford. Here's Fred. We're doing nothing down the right-hand side, Laz. You're absolutely spot on. It's all down the left. Here's Martial. Good block. And another corner. So 16 and a half minutes gone. And literally nothing's happening down the right-hand side, whether it's Delo, McTominay, Elanga. We're just doing nothing. And, is it their fault that the ball's just not going to that side? You could say that. Saka and Jesus going to be joint top scorers this season. Magnificent, says Zane. He's loving pre-season. Enjoy it, Zane, while it lasts. Reality is going to hit hard. Another corner for United. Headed away. And it comes back to Bruno again, who's taking the corners from the left-hand side. And now Malacia. Cleared away. Is it Nani, says Patrick? Good change of possession there. This team might tread water right up until 2 or 3 injuries, illness, and then it's absolutely screwed because there's no backup players, says B. Yakov. Atletico Madrid having a little bit of the ball themselves. Martial's looking sharp, says Random. Cross comes in. And Elanga will pick that up. Will we see Martinez and Eriksen in the second half? I'm sure we will, the damage slider. I mean, there's absolutely no point in taking them on tour, taking them to Norway and then not playing them when they could have just played a full game against Vallecano. So I'm sure we'll see them in the second half, yeah. The question is whether any of the bench players who are playing today would play tomorrow. I don't know. I think there'd be a lot of people that would say if they're playing tomorrow, it's a bit stupid when they're flying. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know whether some of these will play. This lineup is too Ollie for me, says YouTuber BTW. And Malacia looks a bargain at 15 million. It is free pre-season, James. I think you've got to be realistic. But he does look good. He does look good. Of course, Luke Shaw may well have started today. He's ill like Sancho. What do I think of Benny McCarthy? Says Ziad. Well, he's never played for Manchester United. It's not like it's a mates rates thing, is he? South Africa's all-time top scorer, going to be Man United's striking forward coach, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as long as these are the decisions that are being made by Erik ten Hag, I don't really, I have nothing to say. I mean, hopefully it's the right decision. That's all you can say. Atletico Madrid having a bit of the ball here. Oh, bad ball. Then a bad bit of control by Elanga, unfortunately. I mean, look, I don't really want to have an in-depth conversation about Elanga. For me, if we didn't have so few options up front, he would be on loan in the Championship. I think that's where Elanga should be. But we're going to have to keep him because we've just got no depth at all. And he's very far from the finished article, Elanga. I mean, there's a conversation to be had there that he's going to be a really good player. There's also a conversation to be had that he's going to not work out, but we need him. Like Sancho's ill and Elanga has to play. United on the attack at the moment, finds its way to Malacia. Here's Lindelof. McTominay feeds it in. Bruno loses it. Good pressing by United here. Although Atletico Madrid did play through the press quite comfortably. Don't write Elanga off, says Maria. Don't think anybody is. Very quiet game from Delo at the moment. Some people saying that Bruno's been a bit underwhelming as well. I think the press from United's been good again. Although Atletico Madrid have still retained the ball. Hi, Mark. We ever do F1 watch-alongs again? I like doing F1 watch-alongs, Ben, but I actually prefer watching it and not doing a watch-along. Plus, it does clash with football a lot. I couldn't do it tomorrow if I wanted to because United are playing at 4. So... And Hag very vocal again on the touchline. What have we had? 21 minutes, still 0-0. Sethi, thanks for the super chat. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, Sally, in the chat. And, my assessment of the first few minutes is that we could have easily been 1-0 up. I think Martial had a good chance, probably the best chance of the game, really. I know Rashford had half a chance. I don't think that was a great chance, if I'm being fair. But Martial probably should have scored, and I don't think anyone would argue with that. Atletico Madrid have been better than I thought. Only their second game of pre-season. I think in the second half, they're going to make a lot of changes, so there might be a few goals there. Sethi, thanks for the super chat. They're a lot sharper than we are. And yellow card here for an Atletico Madrid player. It was a cynical foul on Elanga by Lemar. But yeah, I think the sharpness of United, the game plan of United has been decent. What are your thoughts in the chat? Don't know anything about Vallecano tomorrow. Not even going to do a preview. Possession for us is well over 70%. I'm doing a Liverpool-Man City watch-along, yes, on That's Football. I'll drop you the link later. Do you think it's obvious Madrid haven't had as much game time as us? Brighton will probably be sharper than Madrid so far. So I think it's very obvious that Atletico Madrid are not very sharp. You can see it in their passing. You can see it in their movement. If you look, especially, I think if you look at people like Fred and Malacia and Rashford and Martial, you can see how match sharp they are. What's your favourite decade of football, says Vela? Early noughties. Well, no, actually, it's not true. I'd probably say, I don't know why I said early noughties. I answered very, very quickly there. It's not early noughties. It's the 90s because of the music as well. I mean, 99's obviously was a great season, but yeah, the music in the mid-90s, that made it great. What I liked about the noughties is the transition from the 99 team to the team of the late noughties. And I think the journey is an enjoyable one, which is why, I'm willing to be patient with Ten Hag. I don't mind watching a journey. And a journey can take 3 or 4 years sometimes. Nice play by Atletico Madrid here. Oh, I tell you what, that was good play down the right-hand side and cross came in. They missed it. Would you go vegan for $1 million, says David Scott? Nah. And Mark, I think Elanga's lack of technique is worrying. He needs to spend some time judging the ball so he can weigh his touches better, says Gal. Didn't Benny McCarthy put us out of the Champions League under Mourinho for Porto? Yes, he did, Ross. Thank you very much for reminding us of that. Corner to Atletico Madrid here. A few people saying, is McTominay playing? I think you could say the same of Bruno as well. Oh, I thought they were going to score then. We've cleared it. The Arteta revolution has finally started. Took ages to get going. Saka and Jesus levels ahead of Martial and Rashford to Zane. What's your first game of the season, Zane? I know you're playing on Friday. I don't even know what Arsenal's fixtures are. So that would be... Pre-season, you don't get any points, So they've got Palace away on Friday, Leicester at home, Bournemouth away, Fulham at home, Villa at home. Hey, you know what? You could have a good start to the season, really. You could have a good start to the season. Palace away will be difficult, but if you were to get a win there, you'd fancy against Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham. Villa will be tough. But you could have a good start to the season, to be fair. But I think Palace might get a result against you. Another free kick for Atletico Madrid. Cross comes in, headed away by McTominay. You see the height. Palace away will be hard for Arsenal. Physical game for United. Physical game. What? Oh, I've got rid of what? I've lost just lost. Oh, I haven't. Thought I'd lost my chat. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. It's a good test against the low block, says Sean. Yeah, you do want a good test. United on the attack here. Lindelof pushes it wide to Malacia. Why does Maguire appeal for offside literally every time it gets done? He gets done, says Yakov. And Ryan Hunter, thank you very much for joining the members club. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from if you're in the chat. Fred with another... Well, it worked out all right. It wasn't great. Oh, I thought we'd made the tackle there. Is it back with McTominay? Not a bad ball. They've cleared it. Oh, good skill there. Good fighting by Fred. And he's given the foul. Got people watching in Sydney. He's booked Fred. He's only gone and booked Fred. Oh, I don't think that was a yellow card. People watching from New York, Iceland, South Africa, Weymouth in Dorset. Is that a yellow card by Fred? Yeah, it probably is, actually. Considering the other Atletico Madrid player got booked, I think it probably is. Thoughts so far, everybody? But this Atletico... I just think we're not controlling the midfield again. It's the same old story. Just can't get control of that midfield. And I include Bruno in that. A lot of people getting on Bruno's back. Underwhelming. Crap. I think he'd want better than this. Oh, God, McTominay's put his collar up. No! Don't do that! Don't put your bloody collar up. Oh, you're trying to get... It's like Maguire wearing pink boots. He's got to score a worldie now. He's got his collar up. Scott Cantona. Eric McTominay. Bruno losing the ball a lot. Yeah, I think Bruno's not been very good. How many failed passes has Bruno made so far? Says Mark. I mean, look, ultimately, Eriksen will take his spot if he's going to play like this. And hold on a minute. Alanga falls over. He stayed down this time. I don't think Eriksen's meant to be... I tweeted it this morning. I don't think Eriksen is meant to be a Bruno player. I think he's meant to play in a midfield too, but we will see. Alanga's gone down injured. I think he just falls over and yeah, he lands on his leg a bit painful. Yeah. Look, Alanga's still a massive work in progress. I don't really like to see the criticism of him, really. I think he's been thrown in at the deep end by Rangnick, and he's been thrown in at the deep end here, and I don't think he's anywhere near ready yet. Palestri's warming up. Just shows you the depth that we have in the team. It's not really there, is it? Is it just me, or has McTominay been the best in the midfield so far in terms of keeping the ball, says Stephen? I've not really noticed him, mate. So you might be right, you might be wrong. I don't know. I really haven't noticed much going down the right-hand side, whether it's McTominay, Delo, or Alanga. I think they've all been quite quiet. But I've noticed Fred on the ball a lot more than I have McTominay because we've been very left-sided. Who would be in your all-time Premier League five-a-side? One keeper, one defender, two midfielders and a forward, says United all the way. I mean, I'm not doing that. I can't do those sort of things when I'm watching a watch-along. So if people in the chat want to get that going, it's a good question from United all the way, but I haven't got time to start thinking about stuff like that during a watch-along, unfortunately. Suffice to say, goalkeeper all-time, I'd put Schmeichel in. But he wouldn't be a modern goalkeeper, I'd admit that. Malacia looks classy. Bruno's still off it for me, says Marcel. Yeah, I don't know what's gone wrong with Bruno. He's become... You know, he's doing vlogs on the plane and well done, David. Good sweeper keep in there. Came out, helped his defenders, won it with his feet. Ball in behind Maguire. He's in trouble, but David De Gea quick off his line. Well done. Good morning, Mark. Cheers from the States. Let's get this season underway and fully back Ten Hag. We got this. It just takes patience, says Owen. Good point, Owen. The grass seems a bit thick. We can't really play the ground pass. Bruno seems to be a bit Hollywood today, says Guan. Sean, thank you for joining the members club. Atletico Madrid are on the attack. A good tackle by Fred. Then he loses it. It's the good, the bad, and it's the good and bad of Fred there. Wins a good tackle and then runs into a tackle. It was a good tackle by Fred. I'll just show the reply. Yeah, I think De Gea did well there because that's the weakness of having Maguire in the team, isn't it? That ball in behind, but David De Gea was quick off his line, didn't dive in, and then used his feet to make a tackle. When's the third kit out and why's bloody Castro got it already, says Simon Johnson. Don't know. Love you, Daddy, says AM. Thank you. So we've had 32 minutes and we'll whack up the stats in a minute, but I wouldn't imagine much has changed. So look at Bruno moaning at the ref again. I think Maguire's cut his lip. I'm trying to ignore McTominay with the collar. Not football related, but I hope you and the United stand doing well. Best community on YouTube, says Butterpants. Hope you're doing well as well, mate. Yeah, the new kit we put it out in May, what the new kits were going to look like. And people said they're different. It's just the shading. It looks more yellow on the pictures we had, but it was always going to be lime green. Sean, thank you very much for your super chat there. Don't know whether I said that out loud. Big shout out to Wash and Go for sponsoring the stream. You can get yours delivered to your door through the link in the description. 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner for men. Wash and Go. Mark, can you give us a big shout out to Dave? He's an absolute legend and he loves Michael Wright. I don't know what that is, but shout out for Dave. Mam says, even in friendly, Atletico plays dirty. There's another yellow card here. Another foul on Alanga. He's getting kicked a lot. I mean, 2 yellow cards in a pre-season friendly in 35 minutes. But this is Atletico Madrid, isn't it? What do you expect? McTominay with his collar up like Cantona tells you everything you need to know, says Mark. I think McTominay with his collar up is less Eric Cantona and more 10 pints at a wedding when you take your tie off and tie it around your head and pull your collar up and dance to Erasure. Good cross. Oh, I thought we were on the end of that. It was off. Maguire was offside anyway. I mean, it might not have been given offside, but he was. Ryan, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved today. You're very, very welcome. We've hit 1.4 million. We're on the road to 1.401,000, if that is a number. Is Cantona available, says Stephen? Look, I think there's a little bit of... Hold on. Here's Rashford into Martial. Back to Rashford. Needs a bit of support on the left-hand side. Loses it. I think we've been so left-sided in this game that we've become a bit predictable. I think Bruno's had a bad game. The midfield hasn't really got hold of the game. I think Fred's been the pick of the midfielders, but there's not a lot of quality and creativity in that midfield, unfortunately. And so far, Atletico Madrid, although they haven't got the fitness levels we have, because they're obviously a couple of weeks behind us, they've got the intelligence and physicality to just, read us quite easily. So I think we need to make some changes. We need to pass the ball better. I wonder if he'd give Donny the second half and take McTominay off, I don't know whether he'd do that. I hope Sancho can play tomorrow, says Darren. I don't think he plays tomorrow, Darren. I think he's sick, so I don't think he'll play tomorrow. But I'd like to see Eriksen come on. I'd like to see Donny come on. I'd like to see Martinez come on. All of them are speaking to the ref. I don't know what you have against Bruno. If he doesn't get an assist, you call him his crap. Getting old, the slander, to be honest, is Stuart. Hey, Stuart, thank you very much for the chat. You've made yourself look a complete and utter twat because Bruno is one of my favourite players. So don't try and start saying I've got an agenda against Bruno Fernandes when, if you know me and you know the history of the channel and you know the history of bringing Bruno to United, I was in Mallorca getting boats off the seabed to get him to this club. If you know, you know. So I'm just actually being honest in criticism instead of criticising the same players all the time. McTominay's been way worse when compared to Van der Beek when he played last game, says Greaser. Another corner to Manchester United, by the way. Do you think Ji-sung Park would get the same recognition as Kante nowadays if he played in the same era, says United all the way? Well, Ji-sung Park got the same recognition anyway. If you supported United at the time, you'd already know that Ji-sung Park was adored by United fans. Bit of something going on here. Bit of passion from McTominay. That's pretty much what he does, isn't it? Mark, this is the boring trunks off for me, says Andy. Oh, I don't know. That's a bit naughty by McTominay, that. He's not looking at the ball at any point. And I think Oblak kicked out back as well. I don't know what's going on there. A bit 50-50, I think. He's just got no discipline, has he? He's got no discipline. Got his collar up. Favourite cheat meal, favourite pint, says United all the way. Scooby-Doo, that's how we tackle back in Scotland, says Butterpants. Well, I've only seen one replay of it, but he's not looking at the corner. He's just going straight for the keeper. Bruno, Fred, and McTominay or Donny, says Siri. Yellow card to both, I think. This is why his collar's up, says Mohammed. Yeah, put the collar down and stop hiding. Not the best advertisement towards Ronaldo to convince him to stay with this poor performance, says Callum. And you should be able to challenge a goalkeeper. This whole can't touch or challenge a goalkeeper is bullshit. We seriously need some more signings, says Sean Atwood. We're on 40 minutes. I think the keeper got a card because he kicked out. I think the keeper should get a card, to be fair. Ely says he lashes out because he can't compete. And Scooby-Doo is going to be our next captain. Mark my words. United loves to force feed us this guy. It's so manufactured and scripted, says Alligator. Well, the trouble with McTominay now is he's got all hyped up, isn't he? And he's on a yellow card. So, you know, can he control these emotions? We'll have to wait and see. It's a friendly at the end of the day. Does McTominay really got his collar up? Absolute prat, says Mark. Yeah, I've just put a tweet out about it. I think we've fallen into the trap of Atletico Madrid, to be honest. Nice play by Fred. Come on. So, yeah, 57% possession. It's come down quite a bit, actually. We'll review that at half-time. Nice ball. Good takedown. I think it was Rashford, and he's shooting from silly areas there. I mean, fucking hell, Rashford. I mean, that's just ridiculous, that shot. Are you seeing where he's had a shot from there? I mean, the takedown in the build-up was fantastic. Lovely touch by Rashford. Nice link up with Bruno, but the shot is just stupid. Absolutely stupid. And this is the thing, isn't it? I think this has been the trouble with this half. Fred makes a brilliant tackle in the penalty box, then runs into a tackle and loses it. Rashford takes a lovely touch and then shoots from some stupid area. Bruno makes a good run and then gives the ball away. It's old habits die hard at the moment. That consistency of ball movement is just not there. Decision making, I suppose. Unleash the Van der Beast because McPop a collar is not cutting it, says Geraldo. Okay, there we go. Thanks. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. A couple of minutes to go to half time. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of things to say. You never know. Second half, we might actually win it because I think they'll have to make a lot of changes, Atletico Madrid. Good battling by Fred into Elanga. Nice ball by McTominay. Wide to Rashford. Oh, that would have been a very good goal. That was a good ball by Rashford. That would have been a really good goal. There was a lot of good passes there. And it's a good pass by Rashford. I think it's Elanga, who actually in those areas is normally quite good, but he just didn't get hold of it. Best move of the game by United there. We're setting Ten Hag up to fail with McFred, Maguire, no striker, Bruno, Whining, and PR Rashford, says Rax. Has Rashford not learnt anything? Well, he did there, Stephen. It was a very good pass. Ethan, thank you very much for the super chat. McTominay acts like prime Roy Keane, shushing Fred when in fact he can't even lace Iqbal or Savage's boots, says William. Thanks for the super chat. Zane says it's the Passion of the Christ sequel with Jesus up front. Oh, come on, Zane, come on. Let's not bring religion into it. United having a bit of joy here at the end of the half. Oh, he took an extra touch there. And Atletico Madrid have it. I don't think Atletico Madrid have played well. They've not really created anything at all. I think we should have... I'd have fancied us to have a couple of goals, but yeah, Martial takes that chance early doors, and it's different, isn't it? As we approach half time. And there, is he? No, he's not. I thought he'd blown up for half time there. Corner for Atletico Madrid. Fred, man of the half for me, and think Magaluf have composed so far, says Joshua. Well, yeah, you're not wrong, Joshua. I don't like falling into the trap of our centre-backs have played well when they've had nothing to do. But I think Fred's done okay. I'd agree. It's not been a very good half from United. I think Ten Hag, I mean, we'll go through the stats at half time, but I don't think Ten Hag would look at that and be pleased with it. His level of expectation is much higher than ours is as fans, and he would have expected that. Scott shot his shot and got a yellow card, says Ruben. Arsenal fans will be singing "We're going to win the league." First game of the season, says Callum. They've got a big test first game of the season against Palace, to be fair. But yeah, defensively, we've not really been tested. It's been an odd game, really. I think really we should have done more with the ball because we've been comfortable defensively. But Malacia has been impressive. A lot of people getting on Martial's back. McTominay, bit of a sloppy pass there. The referee's adding quite a long time on. Of course, we had a bit of a head injury, didn't we? Fred and our Black will come and get that. Yeah, I think Bruno needs to do a lot more. Bruno's having a stinker, says Josh. That is half time. So let me just have a bit of a stretch here and we'll go through the half. A few things that jumped out at me. Slow Sports News says, I'm loving the passion on the field. Just don't need to get caught 1-0 down and typical Atletico time wasting, says Slow Sports News. Malacia absolutely has to start ahead of Shaw, said somebody in the chat there. I think it's a difficult game to judge Man United on, actually, because I think, we'll get the stats on screen in a minute and we'll analyse that, of course. But somebody's saying sell Elanga, Martial's been bad, Bruno's a liability, we're lacking Sancho, says SK. I certainly think we'd be a better team if we had Sancho in it. I think we have missed Sancho, really, because Rashford's not Sancho. So I think we've lost that creativity in the front three. Bruno's been pretty poor. I think Fred's been busy, but neither Fred or McTominay have really got hold of that midfield the way you would want it to, which is obviously why he wants De Jong. Maguire and Lindelof have been tidy, but they've not really been tested that many times. I think De Gea's been tidy as well. A couple of times he's been really quick off his line. That ball in behind Maguire where he tackled the forward was very good. Delot's been very, very quiet. Malacia has had more of the ball. Alanga's been very, very quiet. And I think we've just been very lopsided. We've not used the right-hand side at all. Hence, Delot, McTominay and Elanga not really been in the game. We used the left-hand side a lot in the first 15 minutes. And I think Atletico Madrid sort of figured us out a little bit. And it's been very stop-start. They've been quite comfortable. I would have expected a little bit more. Let's look at the stats. I think that's always important. So with Erik ten Hag, he always wants 70% possession. We didn't achieve that. We're 60%. I think he'd want more control of the ball. Shots 7-3, 3 shots on target. That's not too bad, but I'd still expect a little bit more. Passes 216 to 145. Again, it's better than them, but I think you'd expect a little bit more. Passing accuracy 86% to 75%. I think he'd be quite happy with that. So I think what Ten Hag would want in the second, Atletico Madrid are probably going to make a whole raft of changes in the second half, so it's hard to judge. It almost becomes a different game. But I think he would have wanted to be 2-0 up, 70% possession, probably 3 or 4 more shots, and 300 odd passes. So it's not been what Ten Hag would have wanted. It's not a bad pre-season game for United to play. It's been quite physical. They've got quite frustrated. I think we have seen old habits. We've seen a couple of shots from Rashford, which are just ridiculous, from ridiculous angles. We've seen Bruno, trying silly passes that he shouldn't be trying under a Ten Hag system. We've seen people holding onto the ball a little bit too long, which shouldn't be happening in a Ten Hag system. But old habits will die hard. I don't for 1 minute think that United are going to start playing the way that Ten Hag wants to play for 90 minutes consistently. These players still have a lot to learn. And it's still a lot of the same players that were Solskjaer picks as well. He still hasn't got his signings. So all in all, it's been a reasonable first half from United. Of course, I think we'd expect a little bit better, but the opposition have been a little bit better than I thought. Donny for Bruno, Eriksen for McTominay. McTominay's a passion merchant with no ability. Bruno has been poor today. We'll bring on better players now, says Joey. I would like to see Martinez come on for Lindelof. Let's have a look at that Maguire and Martinez combination. The sooner the better. Aside from high energy and physicality, I don't know what McTominay really brings. He borders on recklessness almost every match, says Stephen. I do think the height gets him in the team a lot. I think they do value that. The specific team will struggle to get 8th. There's no substitute for quality, and there is very little, if any, in this team, says Div. We are nowhere near ready for the Premier League season. This group doesn't have the talent to take care of the ball, says McElvis. I'd say a fairly decent half, good competitiveness. Fred was my player of the half, very solid, says Daniel. 67% possession, 229 possession, 199 completed influences. Oblak at 83%, and all United players 72% and above. Bruno and Martial both at 63%, says Slow Sports News. McTominay's woeful mark. He's on the definition of a passenger, but he's a grafter, so he deserves to start. It's bollocks, says Foxy. The depth in this team doesn't worry me. It scares the crap out of me. Only a week from Brighton. Want to be positive, but I'm seriously worried, says Jordan. look, I think we can get by in the first few games of the season. I'm not going to be a doom merchant. I think that Brighton at home, you'd expect to win. Brentford away, I'd expect to win. Liverpool is a one-off game where hopefully we can get something out of it. But we need to sign some players. I think there's two things that have stood out for me in that first half, and I said them at the start of the game as well. And unfortunately, you don't want to be right on these things, but they have come to pass. Sancho being out, we've got no depth. Elanga plays. It's not been a great half for Elanga. He's been out-fought. He's been pretty poor on the ball. He had one chance. He should have took it. He's had a bad half, Elanga. But I sympathise with Elanga because I don't think he's ready. I think if we had the depth we should have, he'd be on loan in the Championship this year. Unfortunately, he's now going to be playing a lot of first-team games for us when he's not ready. I think Elanga is a question mark at the moment, as should all young players be. But there's a lot of pressure on him because Sancho gets injured. He's got to start, and he ain't ready. He ain't ready at all. This is exactly why we should have Antony. We should have Rashford, Sancho, and Antony as our three wingers. One's on the bench. One gets injured. One comes in. One plays badly. One comes in. We're really short. Sancho doesn't play. We're short. And let's be honest, Sancho does miss a lot of games. Well, he did last year. He missed a lot of games. Whether it was illness or injury, he does miss games. So he's not going to be available for every game. And we saw the weakness of the attack when Sancho is out. We've also seen that the midfield, Fred's been very busy. Has Fred got hold of the ball and ran the game? No, that's not his job to do that. That's why he wants De Jong. Fred complements De Jong quite well, but Fred can't do that. McTominay can't do that. I think we've had enough of the game to run that midfield, and we didn't run the midfield. We didn't create enough. Bruno's part of that problem as well, by the way. That midfield three have not got hold of the ball in the first half well enough. They've been physical. You know, McTominay's got a yellow card. Fred's got a yellow card. I think Fred's been the pick of the three by a long way. But again, I mean, I don't think what people forget is that this nickname of McFred didn't just come around because somebody thought, oh, that sounds like a McDonald's burger. It came around because as a combination, they just don't work at the level we want to work at. And they're not going to work because you can't polish a turd. And I think Fred is a good player. And I think him and De Jong would work really well. Maybe with Eriksen, it would work well. But McTominay and Fred doesn't work. They cannot deliver the control of a game that a Ten Hag Ajax team needs. They just can't do it. And we saw it again. I think that Atletico Madrid team really is primed to get beat 3 or 4-0. I think if we had a midfield that was decent, we would win that game. But we're not winning the game because we're not using our superior fitness and ball playing skills to the level that we should be using, and we're not creating enough chances. So I think that, yeah, we've missed Sancho, and unfortunately have to rely on a kid in Elanga. And in the midfield, we miss... I mean, look, it comes back to what we all agree on this. We all agree on this. That midfield is weaker than it was last year, and last year it was weak. Pogba and Matic are better than McTominay and Fred, and Pogba and Matic have gone, and it wasn't good enough anyway. We're going into a new season with Matic and Pogba gone, and nobody here, apart from McTominay and Fred. McTominay and Fred are not only our best midfield two, they're our only midfield two. He obviously doesn't really fancy Donny in that role, otherwise he would have started him today. And I'm not convinced that Eriksen's going to play in that role. I hope he is. So, yeah, the midfield is woefully ill-prepared. I like Fred. I think there's an opportunity for Fred, but as a pairing, those two are always going to be a problem. To be fair to the team, we're doing well, despite typical Atletico spoiling tactics. But are we doing well, Mott? Are we doing well? I mean, I think we could do a lot more, and I think Erik Ten Hag will be saying that. Mark, if you're in that dressing room right now, what would you say to the players? This is Slow Sports News. Well, I think the things he will be saying is he wants better possession of the ball, better use of the ball, and more control of the game, which will lead to more chances. We're being a bit sloppy. You know, we're not concentrating as well as we should do. I think Ten Hag will be quite angry. You've seen him on the touchline. I think he will be quite angry. We're 1 week out from the start of the season, and, you know, he will want confidence, and he'll want in the second half to go and do what we should do, which is go and score 2 or 3 goals. Bruno loses the ball too much for my liking, Mark. We need technical players that can keep the ball, says LL. Had Ronaldo been on the bench, it would be nice to see what Simeone would do, says Can. Mark, give us all a Karaki Ollie all the way from Norway, says Daniel. And if Fred starts the second half like he did against Villa, we're going to concede because everything seems to be going through Fred, says Derek. I would make 3 substitutions at half time. I would bring on, I'd bring Donny on and Ericsson on, and I'd take Bruno off and McTominay off. However you want to combine those, whether you want to put Ericsson as next to Fred or you want to put Donny next to Fred and the other one as a 10. And I'd bring Lisandro on for Lindelof because we're clearly going to start the season with Maguire and Lisandro. So let's start it. I'd like to see Lisandro working with Malacia as well. So I'd make 3 substitutions quite quickly. I don't think there's anything you're going to learn from the second half that you haven't learned from the first half. So I'd make those changes and give those players 45 minutes. I don't think he will, but I would do that. I thought the problem in midfield was primarily with McFred, but seeing Bruno makes me the whole midfield needs revamping, says Stephen. Look, Bruno's a player I really like. I think Bruno is a high quality player, but I'm not seeing that. And I think you've got to concede that. As a fan of Bruno, I wasn't a fan of what he did last season. I thought he was petulant and I thought he finished the season appallingly. This is only pre-season. There is an adjustment period for Bruno. It's a different manager who is not going to let him be as blasé on the ball. And he's not going to let him give the ball away as much. But he does seem to be struggling a bit today again. And I don't know why that is. I think Bruno needs to be better. I think everybody would concede that. Decent half. We need more, says Scott. I thought the problem, I've done that one as well. Just having a look at some players warming up. Morata for Atletico Madrid. I think they'll make a few changes themselves, which might make the game a little bit better for us. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We'll be live tonight at 8. I'm also doing the Community Shield watch-along at 5 o'clock on That's Football. Got some good stuff to show you on that as well. I still don't see much difference from last season, says Salim. Interesting points. That's just reminded me of some things I wanted to talk about in the match reaction. We will have player ratings for you in the second half as well, which you can vote for on our match reaction show. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Get involved with that. And keep your comments coming in. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Bruno's been okay. Killian says Bruno's way too clever for this United team and he deserves better players. Lindelof is clear of Maguire, says G Music. I like Lindelof, but I've said this many times before. There is a debate about who is better, Lindelof, Maguire, and Bay, and it's not an easy conversation. But we all know Maguire will start. Good few questions are saying chat's been super harsh on Bruno. He's been everywhere, says Michael. Well, I like that from Michael. He obviously thinks Bruno's had a good game. I don't. Some people don't. I don't think he has had a clearly good game, Michael, because I think it would have been clear if he had. I certainly don't. Bruno's one of my favourite players at United, but I'll call it what it is. It's not been very good from him for the last few months. I expect better from a player who's now on 200 and something grand a week. He's meant to be one of our star players, and I don't think he's performing like one of those at the moment. But the season is when it starts. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I didn't really used to take much notice of pre-season. I think the fact that football's so widespread these days, you can watch all the pre-season games and analyse them. I mean, really, I'd just probably start watching United when the Community Shield was on or whatever, and that was it. And if someone scores a hat-trick on the opening day, I couldn't give a shit what they're doing pre-season. So there is that to take into account as well. What a pile of trash, says Ames. You're entitled to your opinion, but Ten Hag is definitely a yes man. Otherwise, the club wouldn't have hired him. Ollie's iPod is back too. Bruno, Elanga and Rashford are becoming average. Malacia stands out because he's new and hasn't been contaminated by the poor culture of the club, says Rickster. So some strong opinions coming in. A few people have been asking why McTominay plays. I spoke about it before the game, so in case you missed what I said, I genuinely think that in the search to establish why this player gets a lot of game time. Derek's just gifted 5 memberships. Big shout out to Derek, by the way. I'm going to gift some in a minute, actually, because we've hit 1.4 million. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Big shout out to Wash and Go as well, who are sponsoring our stream. Wash and Go, shampoo and conditioner in one. For men, you can get yours through the link in the description. It will deliver it to your door, very reasonably priced. You can scan the QR code as well. I use it every day. Big shout out to Wash and Go. And of course, Wash and Go is very apt for our pre-season tour, as we hope Manchester United wash all the crap out from last season and go again fresh. But we will see. what happens. On McTominay, I was saying it before the game, the players are coming out on the pitch, so just get ready. Hello, Mark, says Yash. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Bruno's so bad. Why does McTominay play? Says Majek. Swift, thank you very much for your super chat. In relation to McTominay, I don't rate him. I don't think he's particularly good. I wouldn't mind him on the bench. I don't think he starts for any of the top 6 teams, so I don't know why he starts for us. I don't think he'd start for Arsenal. I don't think he'd start for Spurs. Certainly not Chelsea, Liverpool, or Man City. I think that if he was 5'10", he'd be in the Championship. I think he plays for United because he's tall. And I think it is an attribute. Whether we like it or not, it is an attribute. Height is an attribute. And I think that he's good in the air. And I think, I don't agree with it. Xavi and Iniesta weren't good in the air. But I think his aerial ability and physicality is a reason he gets picked. Whether you agree with it or not, he is good in the air. And if you think about it, we're going to be playing with a 5'10" centre-back. So maybe McTominay's going to play a lot of games because he's tall. This is really to hone fitness of the player, so not stressing yet, says Pauline. We're just about to start the second half. No changes for United, same team. Just waiting. And we're off. Second half kicks off. There you go. I love Bruno, but he hasn't changed under Ten Hag. Still giving the ball away and trying to make up for it by working, but ending up a bit of a headless chicken. Says Scott. Vaz, thank you very much for being a member of the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have Atletico Madrid made any changes? Probably. These players don't look like a real team, Mark. They don't. They look like a bunch of individuals. They don't want to fight for each other. My Sunday League squad fights for each other more, says Foxy. I don't know. I don't know whether I agree with that. I think there is a unity in that team more. The dressing room is very happy at the moment, is what I'm hearing. But Bruno's been everywhere, and that's a problem. Needs to be more disciplined, says Siri. Interesting, intelligent point. If he plays McFred instead of Donny, it's on Ten Hag, says Majik. I don't think Atletico Madrid have made any subs yet, actually. I think it's the same 11. Oh, my God. Rashford's just tried a shot from the halfway line. I suppose in pre-season it's okay. Well, Eriksen doesn't look like he's coming on anytime soon because he's sat down on the bench with his vest on. I'd be very surprised if we've took Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez to Oslo to give them less than half an hour, considering they could have stayed at Old Trafford and played from the start tomorrow. But what do I know? Oh, well played, De Gea. Quick. Well done. Quick off his line. Right, United with a bit of a break here. Bruno probably held on to it a little bit too long, but he gets it back from Rashford. It's weak. Was that Elanga? I think it was Elanga. Hi, Mark. Can we get Bruno's passing stats? And do you think he may lose his position to Eriksen, says Drubb? Well, I don't think we bought Eriksen to replace Bruno. I really don't think that was the plan, but another foul by Fred. Mark, Eric Bailly's been a standout on tour, in my opinion. How could he have been without injuries, says Swift? Yeah, but you know what? Eric Bailly's not been injured for quite a while. Like most of last season, he was fit and he still didn't get his chance. Mark, is it true that Eric Ten Hag has added Benny McCarthy to his coaching staff, says Grant? Apparently, he's coming in as the striking coach. My thoughts on that I don't really have any thoughts on it. As long as the manager's picking his coaches, I don't mind. I want to see the butcher, Eriksen and Garner, says Sean Atwood. The interesting thing will be if some of these players who are on the bench today get to play tomorrow. Because I'd want to play tomorrow. Wayne says, same Rashford, always trying the impossible. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Why is Ericsson still sat there with his onesie on? Says Gershon. Put Plestri on for Elanga, says Ev. Arnish says he thinks some of these players will play tomorrow. Elanga again getting caught on the ball. Bad touch by McTominay. Atletico Madrid getting competitive. McTominay needs to be a bit careful. Wins a free kick. Remember, both McTominay and Fred are on yellow cards. I don't think the referee would really want to send anybody off, but both midfielders on a yellow card. Sancho's not well. Yes, Daniela, you're right. If you were neutral, do you think Ronaldo should leave United so he could play in the Champions League football in his last couple of years, says Sam? But that's not the reason Ronaldo wants to leave. Like, you know, he knew we weren't in the Champions League at the end of the season and was committed to staying. I think it's the lack of ambition in the team that's really changed his mind. Another free kick here. A lot of free kicks being given away. I suppose if I was being positive, I think we've been the better team and we've controlled the game better. If I was being constructive, I'd say look at that 11 and tell me that's a team that's good enough to fight for fourth. I mean, the centre-back pairing isn't that inspiring. The midfield is a midfield that any midfield in the Premier League would fancy their chances against. The fullbacks, whilst promising, are not established yet. Oh, here we go. Well blocked by Maguire. I thought he was going to be in trouble there, but he blocked the shot quite well because it was pure pace against him. Still on the attack. Morning, Mark. Just waking up in the US. How have United played? That team needs some major additions. We'll probably fight for fourth with that team, says Vignesh. Yeah, we need to get some players in. Alanga's well overhit the pass there, and Martial won't be picking up that. There's a load of United players in the bottom corner just warming up here. This is where United were in trouble, really. He's running at Maguire, who does well to get the block in, really. Positions himself well there, to be fair. Graveyard shift for Martial again, says Anatar. I just want us to get the first goal because I think we need to try and keep the confidence going. And I think if we didn't win this, it would be a bit of a psychological blow for the team. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's pre-season. It doesn't matter massively. But I think the fact that we've been training a lot more than Atletico Madrid, you know, we would have expected to come here and win this. I would have expected us to come here and win this. 52 minutes. Thanks everyone who's watching. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Fishing says this cannot be the team going into the new season. Well, you know, Sancho comes in, doesn't he? Games are won and lost in the midfield. You know, we can talk about other areas of the team that need to be improved, and they do need to be improved, but games are won and lost in the midfield. And will we sign any other midfielders, says Rickster? The thing is, this obsession about Frankie de Jong, we actually needed more than that. We needed to buy two midfielders. We lost Matic and Pogba. This game is showing just how much Erik ten Hag has to do. Bring this squad to level good enough for a top four fight, says Clem. Well, certainly if you're Brighton watching this, you're not massively worried, are you? Maguire should have been booked there. I don't know why he didn't get booked. Did he get booked? Yeah, he did. Yeah. Just lack of pace, which he's never going to get. He's never going to find pace. Oh, Alanga's had a terrible game, hasn't he? I don't want to say it, but Alanga's just not. I feel sorry for Alanga. He should not be the backup. He's not ready yet. He needs to go out on a loan, get some confidence. Yeah, it's very hard to build up your confidence when you're being thrown into a team like this as the backup winger. Like if he goes to a championship club, plays 30 games for someone like Reading and scores, 15 goals, gets 10 assists, it's so much better for his development. And I just don't think he's see Bruno with the no-look cross there. That's very Ollie. That's not something that Ten Hag's going to appreciate, a no-look cross. I mean, it's a good cross, but no one's anticipated it. We are dark horses to win the league. I feel the spirit of the 2004 Arsenal team is back, says Zane. I thought you were talking about us for a minute then. I can't believe how slow Maguire is. Shouldn't be ball playing if he can't get back. Why is there a fridge on the field anyway, says Summit. Hey, you made a good block a few minutes ago, mate. What's Rashford done here? Oh, I think it's just a knock. He's all right. Right, here's Atletico Madrid. Lots of subs coming on now. Morata. Witsel. We probably won't make many changes. Ten Hag said before the game he wants to give a lot of these players 90 minutes. This is his team for Brighton. Ronaldo tomorrow. We've got a watch-along tomorrow at 4 o'clock UK time. Rayo Vallecano at Old Trafford. So you'll see Ronaldo tomorrow. Varane plays tomorrow. Hopefully some of these players on the bench will play tomorrow. I mean, I'd rather see Donny play tomorrow than have to come on in this game for 20 minutes. Martinez travelled as well. Again, I mean, look, if Martinez ain't going to get half an hour, I hope he plays tomorrow. As I've said it a few times, I don't really understand why you put Eriksen and Martinez on a plane to Norway when you've got a game tomorrow, unless you're going to play them for at least, well, it's going to have to be half an hour now, isn't it? Another player down injured for United here. Into Bruno. Alanga. You might want to put this out. There is a United player injured. You might want to put it out. Okay, now we're playing on and one of our players is lying down injured. And it's Martial. He looks like he took a kick on the leg. I think he'll be all right. Eriksen is warming up and so is Donny. João Felix is coming on. Saul Niguez, Morata, Witsel. Did our new signings feature today? Why did he even take them? Could have left them in Manchester to get ready for tomorrow's game, says Vignesh. Well, this is what you call a squad, isn't it? United's man of the match so far, says Q. Good question. Who would you go with man of the match so far? I'm going to do a little bit of a poll, actually, because I like the interactivity. Hard. There's only 4 contenders. 3 of them are defenders. Sonia says, "No, respect your opinion, mate, but a good block then shouldn't be a criteria to be a starter for a team trying to compete for the Champions League," says Somia. "Based on preseason, I will never understand why is Bailly going while Lindelof is kept. Maguire is a forced starter, but why is Lindelof ahead of Bailly?" says Waleed. Well, lots of subs here. I wouldn't put Delo as man of the match. I think Delo's been very quiet. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I just think we've done nothing down the right-hand side. So it's hard for me to do that. I mean, and I don't think Lindelof and Maguire and Fred and Malacia have played great. I just think they're 4 players that I would say I would give it to. Apparently Rashford's in the conversation, somebody said. I don't think he is. Koke is on, Morata, Saul Niguez, João Felix. I'd probably still give it to Malacia, to be honest. Fred's fell asleep in the second half again, just like he did against Villa. I don't know what's wrong with us in the second half. We seem to be worse in the second half in every game that we play. I mean, it could just be a fitness thing. You put more into the first 45 minutes, you feel tired. De Gea's done nothing wrong. He's just not really had any saves to make. I've quite liked his distribution. He's been quick off his line. Again, the centre-backs haven't done anything wrong, really. So, we're putting people as man of the match candidates because they've done nothing wrong. Foul on Bruno here. I mean, I really hope we're going to get Martinez or Eriksen on soon. I mean, come on. It's Ronaldo plays tomorrow, SR. There is a massive lack in quality in the midfield. I'm very fearful of what will happen to us when the season starts, says Samir. Gone with the quick free kick there, and I think he's going to make them retake it. Bruno trying to go a bit quick. Ricky says, what's the point in Eriksen and Martinez travelling? Well, the point is the manager knows what he's doing and he is the manager. So, I'm not going to say he's got it wrong, but I would have said if they could have played tomorrow from the start and played for an hour, why go to Oslo when you're not even training in Oslo? Why go to Oslo to play 25 minutes when you could have played for an hour against Vallecano? And again, Bruno goes for the shot from, what is that from Bruno? He's just shot from a free kick, miles out. Well, he's kept that in, has he? Good play by Bruno there on the defence. Did well defensively there. Last year, many of our players had numerous injuries which kept them out for long periods. Has there been any word on changes to our medical team, says Joseph? I think that's something that's going to take time for Ten Hag to adjust to. I don't think changing the medical staff will happen in the first summer. I think he's got a lot of things to change first. Considering that the offside there, considering that a lot of the coaches are still Ollie's coaches. This doesn't get discussed enough because for some reason, mainstream media reporting don't want to go deep on things with United. They never do, whether it's the Glazers, finances or whatever. And they don't want to talk about the fact that Erik Ten Hag at Ajax had a whole team of coaches. At Manchester United, he's brought in Van der Gaag and McLaren. And then the rest of the coaches are all Ollie's coaches. Like they're still here. So there's masses that still needs to be done at the club that doesn't get spoken about. Like we could start the season really badly and people would start going, we should never have given the job to an Eredivisie coach. But what about the fact that most of the coaches are still the coaches that were here a year ago? Like there's a lot of things that need to be changed at that football club. And, you know, talking about the medical department, maybe he wants to make changes there. But, you know, first things first, he's got to get the players in he wants, and he's got to get the coaches in that he wants. And, Maguire there, just not caught for pace, stretched out. Another yard, and he might have been in trouble there, but he did well. João Felix on Maguire. Maguire's about to go down with a muscle injury in 3, 2, 1, says Foxy. João Felix is on. Hope he doesn't do as well as he does on your career mode, says Derek. I need to get that career mode back. I mean, I don't know what Bruno was doing with that free kick there. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Just type me in the chat if you're just waiting for Ericsson to come on now. That's the thing I'm excited about. Guess United is playing a tribute to Ollie, says Ack. Well, it's going to be a very interesting match reaction if it stays like this, because it's been a terrible, terrible performance so far from United. And I think at least give us a goal. And I barely noticed McTominay and Fred in this half. Tea, please, Bob. So yeah, we've got a watch along for you tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. It's Man United at Old Trafford against Rayo Vallecano. I mean, exciting just because hopefully we'll see Ronaldo. On top of that, I'm doing the Community Shield at 5 o'clock today as well. So tune into That's Football for that. Rashford, go wide, Bruno. Just he should make that pass. He should be making that pass to Elanga there. It's all about weight of the pass there. That pass should get made. I'm not blaming Elanga there. That's a simple pass. I don't like when people say he shouldn't have gave it to him because of Eredivisie, because Sir Alex came from the Scottish League, says Nathan. Yeah, you've got to be defensive of that. Do you think we as fans and Eric Ten Hag learn anything from this hour versus Atletico? I think we've been with players on the bench who are better than what's in the starting lineup, says Salah. I mean, you always learn something. But I feel like you make a great point for the match reaction. What did we learn? And I think what we're learning is that Eric Ten Hag is still learning what we already know, if that makes sense. Because we've been watching this team for years, we know a lot of these problems already. And I think Eric Ten Hag is having to learn them himself. Nice ball out wide here, Delo. What's he got? Back post for Rashford was on. And he's got the cross wrong. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that... What? All right. I thought qualifying was at 2. Oh, yeah. Isn't he the one who always crashes? God. Sorry, I'm getting qualifying updates on F1. Apparently, Latifi's first on qualifying 3, if that matters to anyone. The man of the match so far is Malacia, 66%. There you go. So McTominay's just committed another foul. Go Taffy, they're saying in the chat. Oh, hey, Ericsson's on at last. He'll be on for Bruno. Coming on. I mean, to be fair, you know what I would say as well? There is a positive that... I mean, De Gea's not had to make any saves, has he? I can't think of a save that De Gea's had to make, unless I was looking at the chat at the time. So, Ericsson will surely come on for Bruno. Here's João Felix. Good cross. What a miss by Saul Niguez. I mean, who's marking him here? João Felix with the cross. McTominay. McFred missing anyone? Seen them last season in Kondobia's pockets, is Barry. Well, that should have been 1-0. Let's just watch this substitution. Ericsson and Donny. Just wondering, you're looking forward to the all or nothing doc because Arsenal fans want to know, says Nathan. When is that coming out? Maybe he wants the same staffs as AP. And Donny is on as well. Ericsson straight into the number 10 shirt, says Robert McCormack. So Ericsson's on for... So McTominay and Martial off. Bruno's... I don't know what we're doing there. Just shows you how... 4th of August. Okay, I'll do a watch-along for that on Thursday night on the Prime. Thanks. So Rashford's gone up front and Bruno's gone left wing and Ericsson's gone... Well, let's keep an eye on this midfield three here because I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Thoughts on Bruno's season this year? What's going to happen, says Jude. Well, he's still on the pitch. I mean, the thing about Bruno is he can operate in numerous different positions, can't he? Jim B says Ericsson's a 10, he always has been. You might want to watch Brentford last year, mate. Might be his best position. Alanga must get subbed off. Wow, we don't really have a lot of options there, really. Midfield diamond. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on it because Donny's gone quite advanced. Big question for me is, will the team versus Brighton be the same as the team on the final day? My guess is no, and I want to see who survives, says Brandon. Oh, yeah, I'd agree with you on there. There's got to be an evolution with this team. There has to be. We're only 50 subscribers away from 401,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, United Stand. Remember, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We will be live tonight at 8 o'clock. I've got my match reaction after this. We'll tell you the player ratings. They'll be coming up soon. You can start voting. Lots to talk about in the match reaction. I think, actually, these sort of games are far more important in pre-season than beating, Palace reserves. I think there's a lot more to be learned from a game like this. Hi, Mark. What do you think if Alanga is United first-team standard? Well, he's not, Mohit. Alanga is not first-team standard. He's nowhere near first-team standard. But what I don't like, and, these sort of things really hit home with me, is that when I criticise a Maguire or a McTominay, apparently it's hate. Even though I don't hate anybody. I'm not like that. And I don't have agendas. But then people will be on social media calling Alanga a load of shit, and yet he's a young player. Like, you've got to protect your young players. I don't think Alanga's anywhere near ready. He may never be ready. He may never be good enough. But I don't think throwing a lad in who's not ready into the starting team is a good idea. Ericsson's just put a cross in there, quite a good one. I think if Alanga was at Liverpool, he'd be on loan at Preston. And I think that's where he should be. But unfortunately, we haven't got the depth. I mean, he should have scored there. It's a lovely cross by Ericsson. He's going to walk into this team, isn't he? You can see already Ericsson's going to walk straight into this team. Gets his fitness up and he'll be straight in. So Donny's playing quite advanced. It's like a midfield three. Yeah. It's a different midfield three. So I need to talk about this with the subs. Good tackle by Maguire there. So when we play McFred and Bruno, you play a midfield two with Bruno ahead of it. So the triangle's like that. We're playing a more of a circular midfield three. So you've got Fred holding, Bruno, Donny to one side and Ericsson to the other. Oh, shot straight at De Gea. We've been crying out for an Ericsson for years, says Robert. I actually prefer this midfield, where you play a midfield three and you don't play two defensive ones. The problem with McTominay and Fred is that they both have to just sit there together in a two, and it makes you very deep. When I always would like a midfield one with two either side. And if you look at that midfield now, you've got Fred playing deeper, and then you've got Donny and Eriksen either side of him. And the triangle becomes like that instead of becoming... So bottom of the triangle's McFred and Bruno. So the triangle's like that. This one, you flip the triangle and you have Fred, and then you've got Donny and Eriksen there. Jesus has hit a hat-trick, says Miasi. How's the game, Mark? Just woke up 8 a.m. to a lovely Saturday morning with a game to play at 10 a.m. Hope you're having a good day, says T. Thank you very much, T. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Legends in the chat, as always. Malasia's just had a shot over the bar. Have a look. What's... oh, dear. Draw, are you there? It's not there. You know the problem I know? Yeah, it's completely down. Eriksen's looking lively. Corner. And it's Eriksen on the corner. Oh, how have you missed that? Bloody hell. Maguire. How has he missed that? How has he missed that? Oh, my God. How has he missed that? Oh, my God. How has he missed it? Jesus Christ. How has Maguire missed that? Oh. It's a free header, central, on the edge of the 6-yard box. Right on his head. No one near him. He just can't direct headers. He can't. He just... You know what Maguire needs to do? He needs to get a big brick wall in his garden and draw circles in them, and then get their ball and like have a number in each circle, right? 1, 2, 3, and then someone throws the ball at him and they go 3, and he heads it into the 3, into the 1. That's all he needs to do. Like if he practiced his positioning on his headers, he'd score 6 or 7 a season. He's really good at winning headers. He just can't direct them. Martin says, if that was Bay, he'd be like, that's a great effort. Mate, I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I think he's had a good game today. I think Maguire's played well today. I'm not going to say he's played badly, but he's got to score that. Come on. England's finest centre-back, says Corey. Yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 ahead of Harry Maguire. Tamori says, hold my beer. And John Stones. But he's done all right today. Cool. $15 minutes to go. I'd like us to get the win here because there is something to be said about Arsenal smashing Sevilla. And I think a lot of that's to do with confidence, chemistry, and also the fact that the fitness levels of the Spanish clubs and the Premier League clubs is very different because we're all the English clubs are getting ready for next weekend. Spanish clubs have got another week before their season starts. 2 weeks, actually. Finally, someone who can take corners, says Paul. Well, Eriksen and Malacia have both been quite good on corners. You know, I've got to say, I think that Malacia's corners are better as well. Yeah, mine's still doing the same thing when I go to it. HTTP error 404. Log into webmail, log into cPanel, log into WHM. Yeah. I know we need more signings, but I really like the players we've picked up so far. Eriksen could quietly be the best one, says Andrew Rossi. We need way more, mate. You know, you can be positive about Eriksen and you can be positive about Malacia, but there's a lot that this team needs to improve on. I mean, that right-hand side today has been dead. And why is Martinez not playing? Good point, Job. Great point. Okay. I'd forgotten all about him. Very good point. Where is Martinez? Why is Martinez not playing? I really thought Donny would walk back into this team under Ten Hag. Such a shame what Ollie did to him, says KMW. Well, he's going to get the season, isn't he? He's going to get the season to show what he's all about. And, you know, there's a lot of games to play. He's starting from a very low place, I agree. But, you know, hopefully he can find and work his way back in. Cool. How do you think Sancho will perform this season, says Billy? I think he's going to be a very important player. I just hope he doesn't pick up many injuries. I don't want to overhype, but Eriksen just looks so smooth and positive on the ball, says Ryan. I think the difference with somebody like Christian Eriksen is, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me here, is that the difference with Christian Eriksen to a Bruno Fernandes is the ability to keep it simple and play the right team pass rather than the Hollywood pass. It's the difference between Sancho and Rashford, isn't it? That is basically the point here. We're not saying that Rashford and Bruno are bad players. Far from it. They're two of my favourite players. But if you want players that are going to take care of the ball and look after the ball better, which is what Ten Hag ultimately does want, then those two players stand out as more suitable because they are better at doing that. But that doesn't mean that those players don't have a future at United. 10 minutes to go, 0-0. I think Atletico Madrid will be a lot happier than us. Only their second pre-season game. And, you know, this is our fourth or fifth game, is it? Fourth, I think. No, fifth game. Yeah, fifth game. Lots to talk about in the match reaction. This is our last game, really, before pre-season. And definitely a lot to talk about. I know we're playing tomorrow, but it won't be the first team playing tomorrow. So this is their last preparation for Brighton. And what are your thoughts about that? Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Still 10 minutes to go here. Still 10 minutes for United to find a way of winning their final pre-season game. Martial's gone off. McTominay's gone off. Eriksen's come on. Donny's come on. No, Lisandro Martinez. Really weird. Surely he plays tomorrow. Seems very odd to take Lisandro Martinez all the way to Oslo and not play him. Nice ball in here to Rashford. Needs a bit of help. Or does he? Oh, unlucky. Oh. Palestri fouled. Alanga's on, of course. Arsenal to get third, win Europa and FA Cup. My predictions and United trophy list, says Zane. United have only won 18 from 66 against Spanish sides. Very interesting. Love from Australia, says Daniel Hodgson. Maybe that's why we're trying a bit of... Palestri should have passed there. Rashford should have passed. Palestri should have passed. He's going to ease Martinez in. Yeah, well, I think, as I said, I don't know whether not many people agreed with me at the start. I'd be interested to see how many people agree with me now. I said at the start of the game, I think the team that started this game will probably start against Brighton, apart from Sancho playing on the right, and maybe Luke Shaw comes in for Malacia. So I think he's going to start Lindelof and Maguire. I think he's going to start McTominay and Fred. So, that is disappointing. I hope those players play well, but it's still disappointing, isn't it? The start of a new season and you're starting Maguire and Lindelof and Fred and McTominay. But I think at the moment, I would agree with Joshua. We're just not ready. We're not ready for the start of the season. And doesn't mean we can't have a good start to the season, but this team is going to have to evolve. Crypto says predictions on Liverpool City tonight. Well, remember, you can join me on That's Football for that. We will be live at 5 o'clock on That's Football for the Community Shield. First look at Man City and Liverpool. I know it's only pre-season, but we've just watched United playing pre-season, so we'll be able to compare and see, where we're at in relation to team fluidity and chemistry, because it's not been good today. It's not been good from United today. There's been very few positives about the way that we've played football. As I say, I think Lindelof and Maguire have done quite well. Malacia has done well. Fred did well first half and disappeared in the second half again. Delo's been quite quiet, but not really doing anything wrong. De Gea's been reasonable. But apart from that, I think the attack's got to be quite disappointed, really. And no goals in a pre-season game. I feel for Adam and Ryan. They're out in Oslo. All the Norwegian fans who were there, don't get to watch United play very often in Norway and not to get any goals. But it's not about scoring loads of goals in pre-season, is it? It's about fitness in legs and things like that. But thing is, though, I think this season there is a vulnerability to the top four. The top four, I think, is Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs. I think they're the favourites, but I think they're more vulnerable than last year. Last year, for me, it was Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and us, and I think it was nailed on. That was going to be the top four, and obviously we messed it up big style. But I do think that Chelsea look a bit vulnerable. I do think that. Maybe even Liverpool. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. No keeper saving that. João Felix, what a hit. Absolute rocketed it into the bottom corner. You can't argue with it. It's a fantastic finish from a fantastic player. And it's probably going to win the game. I think Fred gets caught in possession. Delo doesn't close him down. And there's nothing De Gea's going to do here. Yeah, no keeper saving that. Fred caught in possession. Delo, not very good defensively there. And it's a goal. Well, Fred's just fell apart in the second half again, hasn't he? Caught in possession there. He doesn't seem to be able to play 90 minutes. I'm a bit worried, actually. I thought Fred played really well against Villa. Second half fell away. And then second half again today, he doesn't look 90 minutes fit at the moment. Our midfield just doesn't. I mean, ability-wise, it worries me, but fitness-wise, we're looking a bit tired. Which was, somebody said this to me the other day. There's going to be a kickback from United. They've worked really hard in pre-season. He's worked the players really, really hard. But these players aren't used to being worked hard. And what happens when the fatigue kicks in? It's not. Anybody in fitness will tell you that you can't go from having a fitness level of a 2 to a 10 overnight and not have a kickback. Your body will kick back at some point. It's going to be an interesting match reaction. Player ratings, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll go through that in the match reaction. I don't want to say anything bad, but has Donny touched the ball, says Druv. No, not been very good. Rashford as a lone number 9, ain't it? We need Ronaldo. Cheers, mate. Yeah, so let me just do it for you, actually, while we're losing this final preseason game for this first team, although we have got a game tomorrow. Liverpool versus Man City. Sorry. Ronaldo walks into this team instantly. Well, at least the game tomorrow gets more exciting. We know Ronaldo's going to play, and surely Lisandro Martinez is going to play because he's not played at all here. I've pinned it to the top of the chat, the link to the watch along for Liverpool versus Man City. If you want to just click it now very quickly and subscribe, that's fine. What's Maguire getting involved in here? I mean, it's the end of a pre-season game where it doesn't massively matter. We won't be playing Atletico Madrid again, lads. They're going to be in the Champions League. We're going to be in the Europa League. Has Fred been sent off? Yeah. Fred the Red. Second yellow card. Yeah. Embarrassing discipline, says the chat. They're an accident waiting to happen. It's a blatant, there's absolutely no argument. There's a blatant yellow. He could have even got a red. He kicks out, that's a yellow, and then he follows in and accidentally, I think, stamps on him. But it's definitely a second yellow. He kicks out. He said, what can you say? I can't defend it. He's on a yellow card and he kicks the bloody player. What can you do? What can you say? So basically, McTominay and Fred have had 3 yellow cards this game. It's just that not only are they not good enough, they're also indisciplined, ridiculously indisciplined. So much for our fitness levels, meaning it should be an easy game, says Nick. Yeah, I'm going to get clipped up now. TikTok editors, go to my preview. I'll even add you a little bit on now. You can clip the bit where I said I fancy us to win 3 or 4-0 easily. Yeah, United's fitness levels were not as good, and if you play McFred in the midfield, this is what happens. Simple as that, Nick. Good point. Normal service review resumes in midfield. Donkey, says Paul. Won't win anything with Magaluf, McMark. Seen better centre backs in my local league. They've actually done all right today, Foxy. I wouldn't blame it on the centre backs. If Ronaldo stays, the board and Glazers will say it's like a new signing, says Armin. Yeah. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. The referee's about to blow up. Not too upset. United still need a midfielder and wingers. Definitely worried when we get injuries. Squad depth still an issue. So there's loads to talk about in the match reaction. I want to talk about what we've learned from pre-season, what we've learned about Ten Hag, the midfield issue, reality bites, Bruno, Rashford. Have we actually improved? Again, left-sided, lopsided, nothing going down the right. The lack of depth in the squad, the lack of signings. Yeah. Just not ready, are we? You can do your player ratings, by the way. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll go through that in the match reaction. Referee's just blown the final whistle, I think, there. Yes, he has. No point playing this great football if we can't win, says Nathan Bell. Well, I don't think it was great football. Anyway, have we got the stats, Draughty, just very quickly before we end? Just before we go to the match reaction, I would just like to have a quick look at this. I mean, João Felix is a quality player, absolutely quality, but that wasn't a good performance today. That was not a good performance at all. I mean, I don't think you can walk away from it and say, oh, yeah, we won 1-0. 57% possession to 43, 11 versus 6 shots, 4-4-5 versus 3-3-5, and 86% possession. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be very happy with that, Erik ten Hag. Really don't think he will. But look, we'll go through all that on the match reaction. I've pinned in the top of the chat the link to the Liverpool Man City game. We're going to do that at 5 o'clock, so join me for that. We'll go straight on to the match reaction now. You can do your player ratings through the link in the description. I'll see you over there. Lots to talk about. Lack of signings. We're not ready. That midfield is a joke. Some really harsh and factual things we need to discuss in the match reaction because we ain't ready for the new season. Nowhere near. And some of us knew we weren't ready. Some of us wanted to pretend we were. We're not ready. Let's talk about it on the match reaction in a minute.